All right, y'all. Welcome to All Politics Are Local, America's
Number one.
number one political hip hop radio talk show. Y'all know if it's Friday, y'all know it's time for All Politics Are Local. So, of course, y'all know this is an extra Friday, so we're not going to have any of the shows that are going to be up. So, we're going to talk to a number of people, and we're going to discuss a number of things that's going on in the community. So, but we've got some exciting things that are going to happen at the end of the show. So I would suggest you guys stay tuned. We don't want to divulge any of that yet. We're still waiting on some confirmations. But once we get those, we will share that with you. But that's going to be later in the evening around the 8 o'clock hour in our third hour. So we're going to give you this rundown. Zaid is going to tell you who's coming up. And then, of course, we'll jump into some conversation about some of the things that are going on. And we will say, you all feel free to chime in via the chat, and of course we'll post your statements, and feel free to share the show, like and share the show for us. All right, we've been around long enough now for you all to know that this is not just our show. This is our city's show where everybody's welcome to come on. As my brother Zaid like to say, it's the community drum. What's up, Zai?
We got a lot in this first hour. We have two incredible women. We'll have Gabriela Soto, incredible young woman who's in a valiant fight for her husband's freedom from ICE detention. And that fight has taken some serious turns and has put her family through quite an ordeal. But this brave woman has become one of the key voices and faces of ICE repression in this community. And we're very proud of her and for all of us who have had our hands on her to help her and to really just help her amplify her voice and get justice and freedom for her husband. We'll also have Alia Berry, a sidewalk street therapist, as she likes to call herself, who is moving into a production mode, and she's been there before, but moving more fully into a production mode in terms of using theater art as a tool as a therapeutic tool, as a healing tool. And she has an event coming up, just a Mississippi Minute, that speaks squarely to that. After that, Masani Barnwell, she was with us 2 weeks ago with the women that make up the Heritage Company that who own, manage, and take care of what's going to become Cowahita Towers. But we know her from Source of Knowledge Bookstore. The Source of Knowledge Bookstore has its own set of summer activities, and she's going to bring us up to speed with how we're going to finish up this summer, Black and Strong, with Source of Knowledge Bookstore. After that, we're going to have a Black August roundtable from around the country. Tomorrow is the beginning of Black August. And the elder that will center that conversation is somebody hugely dear to me. He's a Panther from my hometown of Plainfield, New Jersey. Ashanti Alston. Ashanti was in the Black Panther Party, Black Liberation Army, and a former political prisoner as a consequence of his commitment. And is one of our leaders of the Jericho movement, and has really been out there trying to get support and freedom for his comrades over the years. He will be joined by Sefu Sankofa, who has a show called U.S. Political Prisoners and You on the Black Power Media platform. Tuere Burns, sharp sister down in New Orleans, who's organizing the Black August activity in New Orleans. And somebody who's been here before, who we adore a whole lot, Amber Sherman from down in Memphis. And of course, not only is Amber organized, a Black August series of teachings, but she's also dealing with the collaboration between police and ICE in Memphis, and the hijacking of the historically Black voting district as a consequence of the case of Louisiana v. Calais and the gutting of the Voting Rights Act. We got a lot to talk about. That's going to be a powerful roundtable. And then after that, that guest, that surprise that Ed was alluding to, should be more fully developed for some of everybody. So we got a full house tonight. A lot to cover, a lot to do. Let's ride.
Yep. And so, Zai, let's talk a little bit. Particularly, I didn't get an opportunity to make last night's meeting. Did you get a chance to get by the St. James Church?
Yeah, it was decent. It was a very decent conversation, very decent gathering, decent turnout. That church, especially, well, not just not I mean that's that Donna's not on, but she would remind us that that's her church and that pastor is her pastor, and he's a good brother. But that church has historically been a grapevine for community voices to be heard, and it was a hugely important grapevine for we're thinking about Fredrica Bey is on our minds today because we had the street naming for her today.
Right.
It's taken on a fresh new life from the days of the Million Man March moving forward, and so it was the gathering was quite good, quite engaging, very mature conversation, and it's an ongoing conversation that the People's Organization for Progress is having, called the war on Black people and the attack on voting rights. In fact, the next one is going to be Monday at the Maplewood Library at 6:30 p.m. and they're moving around various parts of the state where they have supporting membership doing that work. So yeah, it was quite good. It was quite good.
And so where we're going with regards to organizing, I think we're talking about going down to Trenton in August, correct?
That got postponed. I'm glad you raised that. We had on deck August 6th, of course, is the anniversary of the Voting Rights Act being signed into law in 1965. And even though Governor Sherrill signed into law the John Lewis Voter Empowerment Act here in New Jersey, nothing like that is close on the federal side. And we have to keep the need to continue to agitate for a similar bill on the federal level to restore what the Supreme Court took away with that last decision that they did with that horrible Louisiana v. Calais Act. So this, that rally was supposed to be a unifying moment for New Jersey with an eye toward Washington. There will be a rally at some point in the future. They have not set an alternative date yet. I should also add, because the Martin Luther King Convention has been the key organizers of some of that, is that I want people to hold September 26th. This will be the second year of the annual, I'm going to call it now the annual Martin Luther King Convention that came together in the immediate aftermath of the Trump re-election, and the building out of a serious coalition to fight back against that.
So we don't have a date.
Not yet.
Push back to.
Not yet. And I bear witness, some of us were chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
Ready to get down, and the vibration was good to move on that. And of course, a lot will be happening. There will be a national action on August 28th, the anniversary of the March on Washington, and the date chosen to be the March on Washington as a consequence of the lynching of Emmett Till on August 28th of 1955. I want folks to forget why that date was important. So there are buses already aligned to go down to Washington for that anniversary, but that is separate and apart from what we were talking about on August 6th.
And so that one, though, is the one that's being organized and led by Reverend Sharpton National Action Network,
among others.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I definitely was looking forward to us making some noise here in New Jersey, particularly as it relates, on the voting rights bill, because as you know, November is fastly approaching. and we've got to do everything I think that we can, particularly to try to get New Jersey riled up, but particularly our community engaged. Um, because as Donald Trump, is looking at New Jersey and trying to file all type of legal action to try and get access to the voter rolls in the state of New Jersey, which is absolutely insane, and that's based around
and very dangerous.
Yeah, but that's based around the press conference that Governor Sherrill had around the fact that there was some illegal aliens who ended up voting in the last election. So and I didn't get an opportunity to read his statement, but I heard that Governor Murphy said that he was not aware of any of that. So no one on his staff told him what was happening. I think we need to find out what was going on with that.
Yeah, it's bad on all sides. Although the scale of it is minimal, it's still a bad look on all sides. And for the integrity of the ballot, there needs to be some kind of investigation, I'm sure. But we know that something coming from Trump's federal government, the Justice Department under him is not the Justice Department we've known for the last 50 years. It's a very different. This is a very punitive, targeting, repressive Justice Department. Let's remember, this Justice Department sees the voting records from some of the Alabama priests, not Alabama, Georgia, some time ago. This and what has happened to them? What has come out of that? What have we learned? What has been done to protect and secure the ballot since that? So the idea or the scepter or the specter of the militarizing this campaign or this congressional season coming up is a dangerous specter. It's unprecedented in its territory. So it's really something that we all need to be prepared for. There's this thing that has emerged in recent years from the Obama years called souls to the polls. And I would say that everybody who thinks they're a registered voter should check their registration periodically to make sure they have not been purged, because the government does do that regardless of who's been in the office as a consequence of some of this energy that's been coming at those quarters for some time now. And go in mass.
Right.
Go in mass. As they stop you, you're gonna surround them with somebody's if they stop you. Make it into something, because it is something. And that's just to put it lightly. I can talk about a military response to a militarized election if we need to have that conversation too. But we've got somebody who just joined us. I saw her big old smiley face in there somewhere. Where is Alia Berry?
Hey, big old smiley face here, present, checking in, roll call.
Don't let Zaid take your joy. Keep on smiling.
We love that, right?
Yeah.
Some of us got to learn how to smile, and I need to be re-educated regularly.
We out here. I appreciate y'all.
Now, Alia, good to have you back. And you've been back. You've been here a number of times on a number of fronts, on various reasons that we've brought you here. But we've never had a chance to have a conversation with you about what you are doing creatively as a mode of getting at our healing in a healthy and in a fulfilling way, right? And you've taken this dive, so we're learning. I'm gonna let you just tell a story into the theater arts. Now, as a crazy actor who didn't start acting until his late 30s, and who's a student of Amiri Baraka, one of the baddest playwrights of all time, sitting right here in the city of Newark, we gotta have that conversation. We gotta have that conversation. And when you first started Village Revival, let me just a little more background. You had a scene. You had a short theatrical scene to help set the stage for the particular work with Village Revival. So why don't we stop, let you tell us about Village Revival Project, right? And then lean into, the value and the, and the usefulness, the enabling usefulness of the theater arts as a healing modality, and where you're trying to go with it.
Okay. All right. That was a lot. I got, all right. I got the marching orders. So yes, first of all, it's always a pleasure to be on this platform. I don't take it for granted. I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate the long-standing important dialogues that be happening on this platform. So I would say, so for those who don't know me, my name is Alia Berry. I am a licensed community-based social worker in the city of Newark, 26 years experience working
It's
with
been 26 years. Are you
this
kidding me?
summer is my 26th year.
Ooh,
so I no longer say 25, and I don't say almost 30, because we got 44 more to go. But every summer, but I've been doing this work for 26 summers. Wow. And yes, I look good for my age. I'm 42. But because people be like,
and had a rough YouTube show called Season Berry. She was getting it in herself on these platforms. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. But yeah, so I've been working with ages 0 to 75 years old in group homes and shelters and daycares and schools and correctional facilities and a whole bunch of different places doing different things. And so for a long time, my lane has been to heal the emotional roots of violence. So whether that is fear or shame or powerlessness, grief, broken hearts, it's a lot of broken hearts causing violence out here. And so that has been my work with individuals before, during, and after incarceration. So like the before is the sidewalk. I think I've mentioned on this platform before, I also write reports for court to help them understand trauma as a mitigating factor, to dismiss juvenile waivers. And then 10 years in a correctional facility, and then reentry. So that's kind of been my work for a long time. But I've also maybe along the last 10 years, found myself on doing healing work on both sides of violence more formally. And so we've also been on this call talking about the mighty Patterson Healing Collective with our sisterhood squad. So that looks like me supporting moms who have lost their children to gun violence on a Monday night, but then emotionally supporting a man through his own murder trial on a Tuesday night. And so that's kind of the example of both sides, and me doing the healing work. Yeah, and me doing the healing work on both sides, which can kind of, mess up your head. But at a certain point, it's time to yield to the work and the call. And so the Village Revival Project was an answer to that kind of, me finding myself on both sides and being a middleman. And I'm like, look, I need to come out the middle, and folks need to talk to each other at a certain point. So the Village Revival Project, we use art therapy to bring those who have caused harm and their surrounding communities together to have dialogue and really humanize the relationship between them, to build social cohesion, to help our neighborhoods feel safer, right? So
that's also, let me just say, that's the cutting edge point of restorative healing and restorative justice too.
Yeah.
That's right at the cutting edge, right there.
Yeah. And transformative justice, because restorative justice has been, I think, co-opted and perverted and commercialized in ways that was not even how it was originally intended. You just meant it, Baba Saeed. But this is also not necessarily a one-sided apology, because hurt people hurt people. And folks didn't get hurt somewhere else and then came here and started shooting people. Right? People were harmed in their homes, their schools, their neighborhoods. We got harmed here. And violence is often a manifestation of trauma.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying it's okay. We can hold folks accountable. But there needs to be some dialogue about shared mutual harm, because harm has kind of gone both ways. And so the Village Revival Project helps these groups come together. But to your point about art, is a lot of times art says what words can't really say. And I want to be able to explain how I feel and what made me do X, Y, Z, or what, how my life was, whatever. These are very complex, nuanced dynamics in community. And so art says what words can't always say, which is why we do use art therapy to have some of these dialogues, to build social cohesion, because we're not a community violence. We are not a CVI organization. I want to be super clear about that. We're not community violence intervention per se, but do I believe in my heart that like this kind of healing
It belongs in the ecosystem for sure.
It does, and it's a missing piece of the ecosystem, right? Like it's a piece that needs to be filled. Transformative justice is a piece of neighborhood safety, and so at this point in our country and world, and we're gonna need social cohesion right here. We're gonna need social cohesion right through here. We have to talk to our neighbor.
Yes,
if we're not talking to our neighbor and we're trying to like navigate this season right here, it's not going to go well. We could really love each other better. Like at a certain point, we need the social cohesion. We got to activate and mobilize our neighborhoods. I can love my neighbor better. We can love each other better out here. But do you even know me? Do you see me? Do you feel me? Like, so that's the Village Revival Project. Now, Baba Saeed, you want to go in the art direction?
Yeah, let's go the hard art direction first.
Yeah.
As a writer, what theater arts legends, if any, have inspired you to actually go that way, and how did that develop for you?
Well, I don't think anyone knows this, maybe even you.
I'm asking the question.
But like, I was a theater kid. Like since I was 10.
I wish I was.
You said, but you got to it when you were 30. But you
38 years old by accident.
I
got tricked on the stage. That's another story.
But I was into acting like as a child. And truth be told, without going super into, the weeds about it, but like I needed to cope in that way. As a child, like the things that were going on, like I needed to cope in a way that allowed me to pretend and play in a different reality, to be honest. And then by the time I was 18, I was teaching theater in the Boys and Girls Club. I was teaching theater in the Juvenile Detention Center. I brought 2 improv shows to 8 county jail where I was. Like I brought theater with me, because I recognized how it worked as a coping tool within myself. Now, this whole writing a play, though, how you said, like, this part I didn't have on my bingo card. I didn't know I was going to write plays. I mean, I've written short stories. I do like writing. Those who follow us on social media, y'all know I'm a writer. But, like, I wasn't really planning on writing a play. And then this opportunity from the New Jersey Play Lab, and I want to get this right. I even wrote it down, but basically the Garden State New Play Festival that's produced by the Jersey City Theater Center in partnership with the New Jersey Play Lab and funding through a particular Art Phase 2 grant. They essentially reached out to me and they were like, we have a play festival with new playwrights who are writing plays about social justice issues and using plays as a way, like a social justice tool to activate and mobilize community. And I'm like, well, I'm an organizer anyway. And I was a theater kid and I do love bringing theater into healing spaces and like, write a play, okay. And they give you what's called a dramaturg, which I literally never knew that word before this program, who's a person who helps support the writing of the play. And they don't like tell you what to do, but they help you put meat on the bones, basically. And so the dramaturg's name is Cheryl Katz. And then we did a stage reading and the director's name is Jessica Brader, and who's also an organizer. And I am now like a playwright, which again, I didn't see that in my future per se, but I'm a playwright.
Did you just say playwright?
Yeah, I'm a playwright. Yeah. I wrote a play. Yes. And but I'm using it. But what's so exciting and dope about this play is like I'm now planning to use it as a healing tool. Right. So when we do the stage reading, wherever we end up doing it, because now I'm about to bring the play all over the state to all my partners who want this play. Let's do this for no cost to you. Right. So like, let me bring the play, because then it's followed by an interactive workshop where you then do healing work. And you hear the characters say stuff that you thought you were the only one who ever felt that way.
Yeah.
Right? Like these characters are saying real stuff out loud, and the audience can relate to them because it's a compilation of so many stories that I've heard through my work.
Did you do the casting already?
So the casting was done by Jessica Brader as of now, and so we have 4 characters, and so those four characters, we actually just did a rehearsal last night with those particular actors, and so we're looking to, you know, like this play is now a healing tool that can be used to activate and mobilize and organize, like in the way of social cohesion, which is my version of social justice.
Have you had your opening night already?
We did in May in Jersey City. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
We should
Yeah.
have you on months ago. I have to be self-critical and apologize to everybody.
No, all good.
I mean, I wish you'd let us know. We would have, you know.
Well, and I'm sorry. It was at the time, and yes, it was at the time. But now with this conversation with you all tonight, and like whoever's watching, is like, yeah, if you have even like I'm looking at clergy and like getting clergy trauma informed and a part of the CVI ecosystem, like, but let's pull you in through a play, you know, and like if you have a boy, you know, a youth organization, or you do CVI, or you have returning citizens who need to see this, and then we use it as a healing tool, like hit me up and we will bring the play to you, you know, at no cost, and then come for fundraisers, because I also plan to use the play as a fundraiser too, so that we can buy some more paintbrushes on the Village Revival Project side of things.
You know, it sounds like something that you might want to do at high schools, you know, because you know, as I think about it, remember they used to have this program when I was a kid called Scared Straight, right?
Yes.
That, you know, to bring to school, and you know, these guys would talk, you know, to some of the kids who were acting out in school. They'd bring them to the school, and you see these guys tell you what prison really was like.
Yeah.
You know, you thought you were a tough guy, and these guys are telling you what really happens in prison. Not what you know, these guys who come home telling you prison is cool. No, these guys who, you know, used to be former lifers, and you know, and were able to get pardoned and able to get out and sort of, you know, became a part of the lifers. But if you were talking about a play where you are having a different type of language that folks aren't really used to hearing, well, you know, because I mean, you know where we're from. And so we come from, you got to be talking different in order to reach these kids. You don't reach them if you trying to talk, you know, like you downtown. No, you uptown, baby. You got to talk a language that, you know, we understand. That's why whenever the mayor start preaching, we say talk that talk.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
There's another language. So that's what your play sounds like to me. I'm anxious to see it.
Yeah.
Let me add to that, and I want to make sure I'm actually introduce you to somebody very dear to me who's also a legendary playwright. You know, I don't know how familiar you are with Jamal Joseph.
No.
Jamal Joseph was who we call the Panther Baby. He was one of the youngest to join the Black Panther Party in New York City at 14 years old, right? And became a very visible figure in the party as a very young man. When some party forces went underground to form the Black Liberation Army, he was right there and did a bit in prison as a consequence of his commitment. But in prison, he developed his craft as a theater arts, as a writer, right? And as a director, right? And that was a space where there was a whole lot of pain, and it was, you know, he was transforming lives, and he has since become an award-winning playwright and producer, stage and film. Was considered for an Oscar even some years ago, right? And I'm also, you know, bringing the two lines of march together. We used to refer to the Black arts movement as a spiritual sister of the Black liberation movement, right? To do what you had just described, art is social justice, right? That was very intentional, coming out of the late '60s and the early '70s. And of course, we had the Imamo, who was out in front of all of that. Not to oh my God, I'm looking right at him, and he just passed away. And I'm drawing a blank on his name, and I should be shot in the head for it. At New Federal Theater, Woody King, right, just passed away recently. Woody King was a New York legend that was a part of that whole production era. You know, there was so much to that on the West Coast. Marvin X and a bunch of folks. You know, that was a real moment where that energy was trying to come together to do some real things to help transform our communities out of those spaces of poverty and oppression. So, you know, you're in sync. I'm just identifying additional shoulders and resources for you to stand on, to draw strength from, and to be aligned with.
Yeah. No, you always just, I appreciate that because, you know, like I always tell you, you help me feel closer to history before I was, you know, even born by Saeed, and for you to let us know that we're on the right track. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's important. And it's true how you said just about like how it was the sister movement to the liberation movement, because there are a lot of people that won't come to the policy meeting. Right? They won't come to the coalition meeting, but they will come to just see a play. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's just a different flavor. It's like a different flavor ice cream that sometimes is more palatable. And to Edward's point, like for the young people, and not just young people, but there's 25, 35, 40-year-olds.
We want some of everybody in the streets with us.
Yeah, but sometimes like we got to engage folks in a ice cream flavor that they prefer, which is kind of like entertainment. Right. But if you're teaching liberation through the arts, like I just thank you for sharing that, because that's spot on, like just how to look at it. It's more palatable sometimes. And so after we did do it in May, people in the audience were like, well, I want to know more about Marcus, who's one of the characters. And like, can you write another play about his whole backstory? And now I'm like, any ill of the community that needs healing, like I'll write a play about it. Like now I'm like, I could really write plays, and I just see it as a powerful tool that we can use out here, because Lord knows we need as many tools as we could get for the liberation of the people. So
So what's on tap? What should we be looking forward to?
Yeah, so I would just say to follow the Instagram at the Village Revival Project.
I put the webpage on it.
Our website, the Village Revival Project.org. We're also the same on Facebook. But we are, now that it's, written and casted, like, I don't even know if those actors know, like, y'all not going nowhere, right? Like, I'm about to bring y'all wherever we need to go. But like, I just think, that if we think we can collaborate, and also, shout out to Mia X, the poet,
a poet laureate.
Right? And so me and Margie, we've worked together for 15 years, and like, she's doing some really dope like playwriting work in community. And so it shouldn't just be like Alia Berry, Miss Berry writing the stories either. At a certain point, it's like turnkeying that to community, and like playwriting and being able to tell your story is an important healing modality. And so I think like this is just opening my eyes to what's possible. We can write our story, like our collective story, which is what I did, but also like those we serve in community can offer this healing modality, and people tell this. So I say all that to say, follow our Instagram, you will see the play, out here, and if you want to collaborate in this kind of healing modality, like hit me up.
There are some things to consider next year, and I'm not going to go into them right now because I want to make sure that they're more foundationally solid in the source to make them happen. But I definitely got my eyes on you. But you didn't quite answer one of the questions. I'm gonna come back.
What's the question? Sorry.
Right? If you now in the land of playwrights, who helps set you flowing? Who do you look up to? I mentioned Amiri, right?
Which definitely.
August Wilson was very important in my generation. right? I remember a young August Wilson going into his first iteration of his plays, and he just told our story in a working class way for every decade in the past century, and that last century was loaded. Right, and so just just as that an example,
So
do you have any go-to?
well, you really forced me to think about it, and I appreciate that. So because I was into theater when I was a kid, I was like watching a lot of plays, but I don't remember his name. But there's two that I think when you forced me to think about it, was one was Rent. I saw Rent like 12 times. and then but I'm gonna share why with the other example, which is Raisin in the Sun.
Oh, that was huge for me.
Yeah.
Lorraine Hansberry.
Yeah. And so I had been exposed to Raisin in the Sun like probably a very long time ago, but I became reacquainted with it through this program. And I think between Rent, my favorite like play ever, which was very untraditional characters in Rent, right? Like the storytelling, I mean, yes, but it was more so like the untraditional nature of humans, and like we're not all perfect, and our stories matter, and like it was a very like untraditional, radical kind of revolutionary story. And I think as a kid and as a teenager and then as a young adult, I looked up to that concept. And then Raisin in the Sun was like, there were so many dynamics within the family and like each character and what they represented within the family that I was like, I can tell the story of neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like this.
Chicago at the Crossroads. That was a heavy piece.
Yeah, and when
it was brought to film powerfully too, so we can go back to it visually as well as going back to it literally.
Yes,
I used to use Walter Younger as a monologue.
Look, his monologue was like, look, and so I think when you guys see the play, you'll see some of that inspiration because our neighborhoods have characters.
Yeah,
right, and so like the play
as they do in real time.
Yeah. But also let's be free to be who we are, aka Rent. You know what I'm saying? Like we can be radical and to the left, but we also can be like really grounded in our humanity. And like Raisin in the Sun was very grounded in our humanity in all of its nuances and dynamics.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you for making me think about that.
It's all right. That's all right. Ed, ask her the ritual question as we wind up this segment. I'm glad to have her on board. You know, you can come back anytime when you need to. And as you get close to the actual production of stuff, let me know. We'll sound the drum.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you so much.
You already know where I'm going. So
yep, I do. In 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. So why don't you go on and tell us, what you rocking right now? What's keeping you inspired and just giving you a good feeling right now.
Yeah. So I'm going to go, I know it's the hip hop, so I'll give the hip hop answer too, which is Amir Suleiman. He's a spoken word artist from Harlem, New York. And so his album is called Thief in the Night, but it's like 15 years old, but I still definitely
I remember he dropped it. Yes.
Yeah, I've used his work in my healing spaces, and like so but then what am I really rocking to make me feel feelings, Edward? I do listen to gospel mostly, and there's a song that says God don't play about you.
Like that.
God don't play about me. And I need that to keep going. Like, look,
are you still in touch with your old pastor? I know she headed south.
She is my pastor currently, almost 17, 18 years.
Great lady. I love when I
don't play about me. And that is keeping me encouraged out here. Like it ain't just me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't just me. So
do you know who the artist is for God?
I think her name is Aria Blue, Aria Blue, and it just found me on Spotify.
Okay.
And it just blessed my whole life. And it just was a random, like, we think you would like this song. You know how they do that to you? I was like, I do. You was right, Spotify. I really do.
Social justice recommendations.
Yeah.
But I happen to be in agreement with you. God don't play about me either. I like it.
Right. and it's deep, like just the way she do it. I'm looking for, yeah. Her name is Aria Blue BLU. God don't play.
You said AR.
I
IA Blue.
last name Blue.
All right.
Without the E.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right.
All right. Well, listen, we appreciate you. And
I
like
appreciate
you
y'all.
said, you don't even need an invitation. All you got to do is sound the drum.
Thank
And
you.
this space is always available to you. We're proud of you. And we
Thank you.
wish you good luck with the play. And can't wait to see it. Next time,
you.
You guys.
The old head character actors, you call on Baba.
I will.
And
I would love to get back in shape.
And by the way, you come on here as a 40-year-old with two old men like me and Zaid. You a baby to us.
No, I know. And my elders do still call me a baby, but I be having to let the trenches know, like, look, me too. Like, don't play with me.
Me and Zaid didn't get this gray hair, in a short while. We got it in
every bit of it.
You earned it. That's that marinated seasoning right there.
Yeah.
But thank you for y'all leadership. Thank you for your leadership, for sure.
Well, we thank you for coming.
All right. Have a good rest of the day, y'all.
Yes,
you
yes,
too.
Bye.
All right. Gabriela has come. How are you, daughter? Oh, this is.
I cannot hear you.
Oh no! Ed, say something.
Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? You might want to go out and come back in.
She's not going to hear me. Let me keep talking. I'm going to reach out to her and tell her to come.
No.
Yeah, I can't hear right now.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Well, Zaid is going to send you a text, and he's going to send you to go in and come back out.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. Yeah.
I was hearing like everything that you guys were like talking just before, but I can't hear myself now. That's so weird.
Wow.
That's the state. Nobody but the state messing with us.
Yeah.
My
well, we're gonna do what we can to get you back here. So.
I got you. Okay, I hear you now. Great,
okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Now this is not going to be an easy segment to introduce because it's so loaded.
Hi.
But I want to welcome here for the first time, Gabriela Soto.
Zaid, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me again. Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can't hear you.
So let me tell you what you do. Go out and come back in, and let's see if you can hear both of us.
Okay.
So it's going to be really important that you hear Zaid.
Yeah. Okay. Conversation. I hate when that happens. And it happened big time with us last week too.
Yeah. Is she down at the ICE facility now?
She just left the Elizabeth ICE facility. That's where they took her husband to.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me see if I can send her the link on the phone. See if she gets a different browser.
And where's she from, Zaid?
She, that's one of the questions I'm going to ask her.
Okay.
She has not had a chance to tell that side of her story.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Very good. Let me try and catch my breath and try and introduce you in a way that is really covers all that we need to cover. We have in this space been doing almost weekly reports on what's happening at Delaney Hall, especially since the emergence of the hunger and labor strike. I was back and forth down there right before and after Senator Andy Kim got maced, right? And when I went down there, and was with him for the last time, I met this incredible young woman who was burning up the microphones and really pulling people together over what was happening with her husband. It was not enough that he was already in a abusive, punitive setting by virtue of just how abusive and ugly ICE detention is. But in the midst of that hunger and labor strike, and I want to put a pin in both words because that's what it was, right? Her husband had been singled out for leadership and was subject to more even harsher abuse and punishment, and was ultimately shipped out of the center and sent to Elizabeth, right? And Gabriela, and I'm talking about her husband Martin, uh, really has become one of the faces of just what resistance to this immigrant injustice and racism looks like in this town. And this town is in the national spotlight and has been for some time now over this whole question of these immigrant purges, and that's what I'm going to call them, that are being taken place to whiten this country to make racists feel comfortable. And that's exactly what's happening, right? A lot has happened since then, since this detention. But and so and you know, we all, so many of us are just so proud of how Gabriela has stood up and spoken out, not just for her husband, yes, but she's also become a voice for other families, and has been as much on the ground as a part of that mutual aid network that developed at Delaney Hall with other organizations like Cosecha and Pax Christi and others, right, that have actually been taking care of families as they navigate that ordeal. So she has really become a genuine voice of justice on this front. She had a press conference a little while ago about some recent developments with her husband's case and her own situation. And we rallied around that. So we wanted to make sure it was my first chance really to pull her in to our space. So I want to welcome you, Gabriela, to All Politics Are Local. And
Hi.
glad to have you with us.
And Gabriela, before you get started, I just want to shout out our co-host and co-producer Jonathan Austin, who's tuning in India.
India, all the way from the other side of the world.
Shout him out as he and probably some of the other teachers out in India are tuning in and paying attention to what it is you have to say tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, having said that, let me start from a place that you never really get a chance to talk about. Your story, your husband's story, and your love story, how you came together, right? Tell those stories, and then we'll get into what's going on with Martine and your family.
I met him when I was 19 years old. If you haven't seen or read the Substack from Dr. Anita Patel's, she wrote about my love story because I told her. I went to Peru for a family occasion, and because I was having family problems, I chose the furthest gym possible away from my family just because I wanted to just not be anywhere near my family. With that being said, I met a guy there that I didn't know it at the time, but he was hitting on me. I was on the treadmill and he came over and said, "You're not doing this right." How am I not walking on the treadmill right? I mean, I didn't think too much about it at the time. And, every other machine that I went to, he just kept saying the same thing. "You're not doing it right." Until one time I just told him, like, "Listen, I'm just not ready to meet anybody." And he said, "Okay, well, we don't have to date. We can just be friends." I said, "Okay." Um, and he said, "Are friends allowed to go and get something to eat after a gym?" I was like, "Yeah." um, and we were just talking like about why I'm all the way up here in the gym that I'm at when I am currently from La Molina, which is like a 4-hour bus ride. And I told him, I'm just having family problems. I started opening up to him, and I got a phone call from my family member at that time, and it was really bad news. And I didn't want a stranger to see me cry. So I ran to the bathroom, and I was about to like burst out crying. And little did I know Martin followed me into a girl's bathroom just so I don't cry by myself. And he told me, he gave me really good advice that day. He told me, you have to go, because if you don't, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. You're going to regret it. Just go. Even if you're mad at your family, just go. So he took me. He took me to my family members' occasion, and when we finished the occasion, he was still outside. Mind you, it was like a 4 or 5 hour like family occasion, and he was still outside waiting for me to get out. And then he chose to walk me back to my aunt's house, which I was staying at. And a trip that was supposed to be 2 weeks turned out to be 4 months, because I I fell in love with him. Um, my husband that night stayed out the entire night in the park, 1 block away from my aunt's house where I was staying at, just in case I needed somebody to talk to. And around 11 o'clock, I had a family argument. And I remember him telling me, I'm going to be at the park in case you need someone to talk to. So at 11 o'clock at night, I was like, I'm going to go see if, this is true, because I don't think guys are telling the truth when they're going to say, I'm going to wait for you the entire night in the park. I go out and I go to the park and I see Martin sleeping on a bench with his jacket on top and just there. And the guy that waited a whole night just to be there for me, that's the guy that I would do anything for, the same way that he has proven to me he would do anything for me.
Wow.
And how long ago was this?
10 years ago.
Wow.
Well,
Now take a leap.
actually,
Okay,
next
go ahead.
week we make 10 years.
Wow, you right up on an anniversary. Oh, we got to.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and claim that 10 years. You like I'm 9.5. You got it.
Now fast forward and bring you to the United States. How tell us that story?
So I would travel back and forth from Peru to United States for a couple of years. And one time I had to come back because I had my mom with an emergency that happened with my mom. So I came back, and
She was here in the U.S.
yes, my mom and my dad and my brother, they all live here.
Okay.
So my mom had an emergency and I was in Peru at that time, so I had to come back. A week later, I found out I was pregnant. I chose. Martin had a lot of dreams. He wanted to be a musician. He wanted to continue his school. I didn't want to disrupt his life, and because of the fact that I didn't want to disrupt his life, I chose not to tell him about my pregnancy. I told him that I just have so much going on and that I'm not ready for a relationship right now. I went through the entire pregnancy by myself just because I didn't want to ruin his life. I didn't want to ruin his goals, his dreams. He loved the music and he loved performing, and I didn't want a kid to disrupt that dream. But then, when my daughter was born, about maybe 2 months after, I posted a picture of me and her. Little did I not remember that I had Martin's best friend as a friend on my Facebook.
So you told on yourself on social media?
Yeah. At first, he didn't know. He said he just told Martin that um, Gabby's a mom, and he was like, "What? She's a mom? She just told me that she wasn't ready to be in a relationship." And so he confronted me. He was like, "What do you mean you have a kid?" I was like, so I went to a party. I was stuttering the whole time. I was like, I went to a party, and I met this person. Um, we're not in a relationship. It's just I just had a kid. He was like, that makes no sense. You were just going through a family problem when all of this was happening. I was like, well, yeah. I mean, it's because I wanted to just disrupt my mind and just I wanted to I was stuttering the whole time. I didn't even know how to come up with a good lie. um and he said, okay, I don't buy it, but okay. A couple months later, I post another picture, this time not showing his best friend, but I don't know how he found out. I really don't know. I don't know how he found out. And he was like, he took a screenshot of that picture, or someone took a screenshot of that picture and sent it to him so he can send it to me. And he said, that's my kid. What do you mean that this is like somebody else's kid? That's my kid.
It
I
looks
was
like
like,
him.
what? I was like, no, you're wrong. This is my kid. He was like, that's my kid. And then he shows a picture of his sister, and he's like, that's my sister, and that's your kid right now. That's my kid. I was like, no, like, I mean, this is like, like, this is mine. Just it's only my kid. I mean, and I told him, you can continue with your life, you can continue with your dreams and your goals. And he was like, I don't care about my dreams and my goals. This is my kid. If my kid is here, I want my dreams and my goals to be my kid. And I was like, you have a whole life like ahead of you. You have a lot of things to still accomplish. You and then he was like, so you're admitting it, like, this is my kid. So I was like, fine, fine, fine. Yes, yes, it's your kid. But I don't want you to just give up on your dreams. You're a really good musician. He was like, I don't care. I should have been there. How did you keep this from me? And then we got into an argument. He got all the details from my pregnancy, from the birth, from the first steps and everything, the first times that he walked, that she was crawling, everything. And it was when she was about to be 1 year old um
When he
when
came to
he
select,
decided when he decided to say, why can't I come to United States? And I was like, okay, before we even do this, we have to do this the right way, because it right now it's just, the system is not, it's I don't want you to get deported. And he was like,
wow.
well, okay, what's the right way? I was like, we can do a fiance visa. And he was like, okay, so come over, like, come and let's get engaged. I was like, okay. So a couple months later, we went and we talked. We decided to take things slow since we were just starting everything back up and everything. And then, um, yeah, I just visited him throughout our daughter's first year. And when she was about to make 2 years, 1 month before, he disappears from social media and from everything. He doesn't answer my phone calls. His phone is disconnected. I His mom starts calling me saying that she doesn't know where he is. He chose to come here in secret without telling me, um just because he wanted to be with his daughter and to be with us as a family, because I wanted to bring our daughter to Peru, but Peru
Wow.
was just Peru was too dangerous. They were killing people left and right, and he didn't want that life to be for us. So he decided to come here. Um I remember in January 24th, I think, or 23rd, I get a phone call at like 10:30 at night, and I get a call from a prison jail number, and I'm like, why am I getting a phone call from a prison jail number? At first, I don't answer the first call. The second call, I'm like, hold on, why am I getting a second phone call? I answer, and it's like, this is an automated voicemail of an automated phone call from Martin Soto. I was like, ah. And he comes, and when I press one to talk to him, he's like, hey. I was like, what do you mean, hi? Where are you? And he's like, I'm in Arizona. I was like, Arizona, like United States, Arizona? And he was like, yeah, like I'm in Arizona, United States. I was like, and I was like, how did you come here? Why did you come here? When did you come here? Do you know where you're at? He was like, I forgot the name of the center, but he did tell me where he was at. And then that same weekend, I
So he was
flew
detained
out.
coming in. He was detained coming into the country.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know.
He
Wow. Okay.
he like como que se entregó, like he gave himself to ICE.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
he
Yes. Yes.
and like in those 4 months, because he was detained from January all the way to April. In those 4 months, he was through California, Texas, Arizona, Colorado, Louisiana, Florida, through so many different detention centers. And I went to every single one of them, which is how I know about the corrupted system that we are living in right now. So that's why when I got a call from a prison jail number on February 1st here in New Jersey, my heart just dropped. I was like, as soon as I saw the phone call that said prison jail, I was like, oh fuck. Because I know this process already. I know it was gonna take months, and I know how it is. I know how they treat you in the processing center, because I went to every single detention center that he was ever at. I went all over the country, to California, Florida, Arizona, Texas. I went everywhere trying to follow him all over the map that he was at. It's insane.
I
It's
have
insane.
not heard this story, this side of your story anywhere. That this is not your first round with the detention forces, but your second round, and that the first round, in a real way, was as bad with his merry-go-round as the first round. I did
Yes.
not realize that.
Yes.
So let's move forward now. Let's bring us to May, when things get hot at Delaney Hall, and then he's ultimately shipped to Elizabeth, and what you need for us to do now.
So the hunger and labor strike started on May 22nd, when we did the family rally outside Delaney Hall. But a week prior to that, Unit 2, where my husband was, because he was in Unit 2A. Unit 2A and 2B, they both eat dinner, lunch, and breakfast at the same time. Unit 2, for dinner, was what they were fed worms. And that was the last strike for them. They would complain about the guards. They would complain about the medical attention. They would complain about the court, the judge, everything. But I think they would even complain about the food. That's moldy, that's old, that's frozen, that's too hot, that's disgusting, that is unedible. But I think the really thing that pushed it over was the fact that they were fed live worms. And I just wanted to support my husband. We didn't know that we were gonna start a civil war at this point. We didn't know. We just wanted to speak about the unjust systems of what was going on, because I already know what they do in these centers. I've been there. I've been through all of these detention centers, not through just New Jersey, but I've been through a lot of these where they treat you bad. They treat you horrible. And I wanted to support him. And we did. We supported him. All of us outside the white tent. We supported him 100%. And we and when everything started to happen is when I was like, okay, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do it right. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about it. And he was singled out because he started the strike inside and because my name was on the flyer for the family rally outside.
Mhm.
So he was just singled out, and he was supposed to. That's the thing. If we can get the recording of May 24th from 3:35 p.m. from Geo Group, you would hear clear as day that an ICE agent said, Martin Soto,
Supposed
release
to be released.
outside.
Yes.
Outside. Soto, release outside America. Out.
Mm-hmm.
They said that in a recorded and monitored line, and they just lied to him to try to get him out, to try to transfer him.
Yeah.
That is why, and because I knew, I was like, wait, on Friday they singled you out. They literally asked you, if we release you right now, will you tell your wife to stop the protest outside? And then Saturday, I get confronted by a GEO staff about why I'm spreading lies. And then Sunday, all of a sudden, they just release you. In my mind, I'm like, this is not right. So I told everybody, stay outside. Do not let a van leave. Do not let a van leave. I went inside with a volunteer to see my husband just in case, he didn't get released. And I could see him in the visit. I saw him with my own eyes from the visiting chapel ramp where ICE agents were walking him down the ramp from the back, and they glanced at each other and literally kidnap him by grabbing him by his arms and his wrists and throwing him in a van. They looked at each other and grabbed him like they were kidnapping somebody. And as I was trying to get out of the building, and because the building is so secure that you need a button in order for someone to let you out, they didn't let me out for almost half an hour. And when they finally let me out and I was running outside, they were laughing. They were laughing about everything.
Because they got him out and started shipping him to Elizabeth.
They didn't ship him yet. They were trying to.
Okay.
They were trying to. So everybody outside blocked the exit, blocked the entrance and the exit so that the van cannot leave. As I'm running out, all GEO staff are laughing. I go and I'm like saying no, like you just said release, so release him. You're not transferring him. And it's insane that they went to this amount of length to try to kidnap somebody by lying to them just to get them out of the building. So nobody let the van leave. The van went back inside the building. I tried it. I tried to go inside. I tried to do everything. Rob Menendez shows up around maybe like 4:35.
Yes.
And then he's trying to get inside. They don't let him inside. They don't let him inside. It's like around 9:30, 10 o'clock at night when he finally gets inside the gates. Not inside the building, just inside the gates. They're saying that, oh, they're not letting him inside. They're not letting him inside. It doesn't matter, whatever. It's around 1:30, 1:40 in the morning when ICE agents are not coming out from the main entrance. They're coming out from the west side, from the other side, the other exit, and they're letting protesters. So my mind was like, this is insane. Like my mind is going off because they're going out of their cars and they're putting their hands up. ICE agents are getting out of the car, putting their hands up and saying, you can check my car. You can check my vehicle. Why are you letting protesters just look at your vehicles? You've never compromised with anybody. So why are you compromising right now? So they check the vehicles. Nobody's in there. They're not doing any transfers. Then the protesters are closing the barricades, and a car zooms out, and that's the car that my husband was in. He was
Wow.
in a regular car, in like a regular sedan, a Toyota. I remember it being a Toyota, a black Toyota, and I have the license plate somewhere.
Wow.
Um,
Let me
and
let me
he
let me move
was,
let me
and he
move you
was,
forward.
and the car had a baby seat because it was a personal vehicle. It wasn't an ICE vehicle. It
Yes,
was a
yes,
personal vehicle.
yes. Let me move you forward because we're up against the clock, and but what you're laying out are some things that hadn't been heard before, and it's also a reflection of the degree of support that was on the ground and the degree of character of the protest that was on the ground that forced
Yes.
concession of those ICE agents as workers, whether they were aware of it or not.
Hmm.
That was respect for your protest. So I want to put a pin in that. Now he's at the Elizabeth Center, right? And this has been a minute now. We go from May. We're a minute from August, right? What's happening with him now at the center? Has any of the congresspersons come to see him? And where is he in his court situation? And what
Um.
happened to you and your family just recently?
So since May 25th at 2 a.m., when they transferred him out of Delaney Hall, they transferred him here to the Elizabeth Detention Center because Delaney Hall is run by Geo Group and the Elizabeth Detention is run by Core Civic. Um, he has
Both
been in
private
solid.
entities, by the way, both private corporations. Go ahead.
Yes. Um, Correct. But they're two different companies. So what Geo wanted to do is, we don't want to deal with this. We're gonna dump him in a different facility because Core Civic and Geo are not together. Um, they are both though private and they both kidnap immigrants. Um, so he's here and he's in solitary since May 25th at 2 a.m.
In solitary confinement.
in solitary confinement. We are right now one day away from August. He has been in solitary for over 2 months. He he is he has a lot of faith in God, so his mind is not as hurt, but he does his spirits are down because he doesn't know what's like. There's no process, there's nothing right now because his federal judge Jamal Semper is handling the Geo Group case. He's handling a lot of other things, and so his judge is not gonna grant release on nobody's case unless there's an update in the status. So meaning, if there's no update in status that he has a residency or he has a U visa or he has something, then he's not gonna grant release. It's all on pause. Not just my husband's, everybody, that the hundreds of cases that he has on his desk, everybody's. So right now we are trying to apply for his U visa because right now nothing is moving forward. Because we're trying to apply for his U visa because of the slavery work that he has done in Delaney Hall. In Delaney Hall, he has worked for $1 a day for a 12-hour shift, and that's modern day slavery.
That's
So
partial
we're
slavery. That's right.
so we're trying to apply for the U visa, and we are gonna get approved by the Attorney General to sign off on the U visa, so we can send that to the federal judge. So the judge can say, "Oh, okay, there's a change in status. Let me just release him." Okay, that's it. But the Attorney General right now is just not signing off on it. She has a lot of things on her plate, so she's not taking it as a priority, which I do want to express that I do understand that she has a lot going on. Um, but it's just I need her to sign off on it. I need her to sign off on that U visa.
How are organizations helping you on that front?
We're trying to we're trying to make calls. I Nellie Poe's, Congresswoman Nellie Poe's office is helping me
I work in the
with,
building in Patterson.
yes.
Keep talking. You go. Yeah, I needed to hear that.
She is helping me with following up with the Attorney General.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just a matter of waiting for the process. I'm just anxious because 2 weeks ago, I lost my pregnancy. I was pregnant since January, and 2 weeks ago I just lost my pregnancy.
Wow. Sorry to hear that.
We got to put a pin in this, and then we'll wrap up. 4 months into this pregnancy, he is detained a second time, not a first time, a second time. Finds himself in the middle of a hunger and labor strike, is singled out as a leader, shipped out and put into solitary confinement, right? Which is torture, right? On top of all the abuse that they're already facing. And the trauma of all this happening to this family, not once, but a second time, has caused this young woman to lose the third of what would have been the third of their 3 children, right?
I didn't even want to know the gender because he was locked up.
Yes.
I found out the gender when they told me that she wasn't gonna make it.
Wow. Gabriela, we're terribly sorry, but I was looking at you when you were on Democracy Now. The way they headed that conversation is the way we will wind this conversation down, and that was that she is not alone, and she being you, right? And Gabriela still comes to her husband's in Elizabeth, but she still comes to Delaney and helps, right? Still does that. So for all those organizations on the ground, American Friends was important to that press conference that we did just a couple days ago. Radio Journal Alia covered some of that. COSECA covered some of that. All those forces on the ground, we want to salute them. Lawrence Ham and I were there for the labor rally that was done last Sunday. Archangel Antoine, who's been here and was a victim of the state trooper attack at Delaney Hall, has been here. He has a vigil on Monday. He has a clergy vigil on Monday. So we're back. We're all back and forth. There ain't nobody backing up. And we're not going to give up on this family and this young woman in her quest for the freedom of her husband and justice for those similarly situated. We salute you. We salute you, Gabriela, right? We salute you. And when we're at your back. Now, we're going to ask you an artistic question that might just try and lighten your load a little bit and just give you something else to think about in terms of you processing everything that you do as you do this. Now, the lady that just joined us is we call her Madam Councilwoman. This is Donna Williams. She was the councilwoman in Orange for quite some time, and when she was a councilwoman, she was the most popular councilwoman because she took care of everybody. And she's very sensitive about this question, as we all are. And so Donna's going to ask you a question to just kind of lighten your load and give you something to smile about.
And Gabriela, I'm going to lift up one of my neighbors, Tania, who's been down there with you. And she's been fighting, and she's actually done some rallies here in Orange. And I went to work one day, and I seen, because I know her and I talk on the phone, and I hadn't seen her. And I'm riding by Scotland Road, and this woman is like, "Ice, ice, ice, watch out, ice." And I was like, this sister out there doing the Lord's work, out here doing the Lord. Yeah, I was like, this sister out here doing the Lord's work. And she's like, "Miss Donna, that was me." So she's been down there with you. So we're all, as when you feel the wind beneath your wings, that will be us. So we have a question that we ask of everybody. When you're preparing to do the work, or going to a visit or having a phone call or whatever it is that you're doing that keeps you when you need to hear music to keep you inspired? Is there a hip hop artist or anybody that you listen to that keeps you inspired from the musically?
Yes. Actually, I think I don't know it off the top of my head.
She's looking.
Mhm.
And I'm putting in the chat. We also learned something about just what a U visa is. I'm putting that in the chat too as you're looking. And it doesn't have to be hip hop that gets you going either, because
It could be any song that
It's a Christian song.
Okay, as we say, keep a song in your heart. What song is that?
First, you're talking about a gospel, some kind of spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
No, we can't.
It's called
Conscious Extras.
You got okay. Conscious Extras. Okay.
Okay.
Tercer Cilio. Okay. Tercer Cilio.
Tercer cielo, creeré. It talks about how even when you're down and even though you're facing a lot of problems, God is here. God is here. Keep your faith strong. He is here. Believe in yourself, because even though you are down, he is here. And it talks about just continue fighting, continue believing in yourself and believing in your power. It talks about believing in your faith and loving yourself so much that you continue going.
That's our mic dropper, Mr. Ed. That's our mic dropper for the night so far. Yes, sir. And then you hear me talk about trauma, but we do not talk about trauma without talking about resilience and why resilience is a part of the healing. And you just gave us how you are dealing with and managing your own resilience. And I always say in trauma-informed settings that the ultimate healer is faith. We thank you and salute you for your faith, and we are at your back.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'll be in touch.
So sorry for as Ed said, we're so sorry for your loss.
Absolutely.
You and your husband's loss. We're very sorry for that. You had to experience that.
Thank you.
I'll be in touch with you. And you need anything, you call me too. You know you can do that, okay?
I will.
Okay. All right. Love to you. Ooh. Wow.
Hey, Masani.
I'm trying. Keep talking, Donna. I gotta catch my breath.
Hey, Masani, you're on mute.
She might not.
You're on mute.
I put.
Oh, there you go. What you riding your bike? What you doing?
She's out in the park with her mom, I think.
Yeah. Hey.
No, you can hear me, but I cannot hear you.
You're breaking up, but we can hear you a little.
She was on before.
Yeah.
We got.
How you doing?
Let me keep talking. I want to send us a link.
Keep talking so we can see if we can hear you, Masani.
You're only gonna have it for
Our sound is not coming through.
Your sound is not coming. You got the sound on? Shake your head if you know about the book Judge Stone. You got the sound on? Judge Stone, you know about that book?
We can hear you.
I don't think she can hear me. Can you hear me?
Go out. I'm texting her, but she's not looking at it.
Masani, go out and come back in. Yeah.
Hey, Zai, we see someone else in the back, Brother Frank. Are you expecting him?
Yeah, that's because we're coming up on 7:30. It's a
Yeah.
7:30 segment. Yeah,
Okay.
he's all right. He's all right. She's only going to be a minute.
Also, play.
Oh, well, Masani, if don't, yeah, Masani, maybe don't show your face and just talk.
Can you hear us, Masani? Now we heard her. Now we can't hear her.
Yeah.
Can you hear us now?
She's on mute.
Oh man.
Did you mute her, Ed?
She's out with her mother.
Muted herself without him.
Yeah. That means she can't hear us. And she's
Masani.
not looking at text to her.
Wherever she's at, she's got a bad connection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, outside.
Yeah.
And they have.
I'm gonna Zay, why don't you bring your guest in and I'm gonna call Masani. The other guest.
We got about 4 or 5 of them getting ready to come in.
Okay.
So I didn't.
Let me call Masani.
And she just needs a few minutes because she's got some announcements to make.
Masani.
Go ahead and call. Go ahead and call her. Go ahead and call her.
Okay. All right.
And I'll segue to that, right? Masani Barnwell, of course, is with us from Source of Knowledge Bookstore. She's at an outing with her mother, and she's in caregiver lane for her mother. Mother's an elder, and she has some events coming up with the unique way in which Source of Knowledge uses their space as a gathering space throughout the year, but especially during the summer. And she was going to share some announcements with that, and right after that, if we can get her back and we can hear each other, we're going to have this roundtable conversation about Black August. Tomorrow is August 1st, and August 1st is the beginning of Black August, a time of maximum resistance to oppression in our history that was magnified in that month, and a time that's used to mobilize and organize and educate around support for our political prisoners. And we'll have some political prisoner campaigns happening all over the country that reflects what we do in Black August. So I'm hoping we can get her in. Was really looking forward to having that. Did she hear you when you called her?
Yes.
Okay, so give her a
She
second.
couldn't hear us.
Yeah, let's give her a second, see if she does better.
No, we're gonna call her after this segment. We'll call her back.
Oh, okay. All right.
I told her we'll call her back when we're ready.
All right. So
because she has a bad signal.
Okay. All right. So let's start bringing some folks in that are here, and somebody else is in the back. Who else do we have in the back?
The only one I see is Frank. I don't see anyone else. Yes.
It says 5 people.
Yes.
Somebody back there.
The 5 people is us and Masani.
Oh, okay. So
okay,
she put herself out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as we wait a minute or two while Brother Frank is here, have you had an opportunity? Did you talk about Professor Johanna at the top of the show?
No, we haven't.
Okay. So, because are more people coming on with Brother Frank?
Yeah, we got a round table. We got folks coming from all over the country. We got about 5.
All right, and Brother Frank, if you don't mind, we could take a second to talk about. When you put that up, I went and I looked and I was like, what? Because when you were talking about the other sister Denise and their relationship and everything, yeah, and I was like, what's what and it threw me, and I was like, wow, and to the point that your information was so new that as I began to research her, nobody had this information. So I don't know if you've seen my post, but of course, what I had to, where I came to know her is the advocacy that she had taught us in the city of Orange how to advocate for Sister Marilyn Zuniga. And when she came, and her and Larry did a teaching, and they began to explain, and from a historical, what we were doing, and why this matters, and so on and so forth. And she's a baby. She's 55. She's a baby.
Yeah, let me back up and give you some more context.
Okay. Okay.
Johanna Fernandez, who's a legendary, who she's become in her short life, a legendary educator and organizer, passed away early this morning after a long fight with cancer. She actually beat the first round of it, went in remission for a minute, and tragically it came back on her quite aggressively. And she passed away just within the last day. And Joanna had become a very important voice and fixture in our inner circle that had been raising hell for decades now for Mumia Abu Jamal. I can remember the day she came to us for the first time. We had a rally that wasn't so big, a very modest rally with a handful of her students on Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard in Harlem. Then dropped the film all of a sudden called Justice on Trial, right? Just a couple of years later, and then really emerged as somebody that could be relied on to explain, teach, and translate all of the legal stuff in your more advanced platforms that are academic, political, legal, and so forth. And it become a very important voice for Mumia. A graduate of Brown University, an Ivy League girl, right? Who, when she was at Brown, raised hell as a black student, at Brown. And in the course of her scholarship, she gave us an incredible book, the first full-length treatment of the Young Lords. And she literally sued the city of New York over their not turning over their public records of how they surveilled the Young Lords and found some more stuff on Malcolm, right? Those are called the Hanshu documents. And then we had this teacher, and coming back to what Donna was talking about. We had a young teacher named Marilyn Zuniga who was teaching in elementary school at an elementary school in Orange, and had done things with her students around Mumia Abu Jamal. And at this time, Mumia had gotten very sick, and the students wanted to do a get well cards. Students wanted to do that, and Marilyn said okay, and she facilitated her students writing get well cards to Mumia that he loved, but somehow word got out from police and prison authorities that he was getting these cards and letters from these kids in Orange, and they singled Marilyn out. And she wound up losing her job. And of course, we raised hell to fight for her job and to expose how wrong education leadership was in Orange for that. And that was just one of many, stances that she has been a part of around the country. She even led a protest where some wanted to do a civil disobedience in Washington. Joanna was a gem. Joanna's a gem, and very dear to a lot of us. I know very dear to me personally. We had early in the day, we had Amina Bey's mother, Fredrica Bey, be honored with a street naming ceremony. If that hadn't happened today, I probably wouldn't have gotten through the day at all, because I was really messed up, and as some of us are. But you have to keep moving forward. So that's the background to what Donna was raising. I just wanted to give everybody a full picture of who Joanna was. Last week we were having a conversation about Denise Oliver, a young lord and Panther who passed away a moment ago. And they had quite a relationship with each other, to be sure. Denise was a big influence on a whole lot of folks younger than her. And we now have to, curate a conversation to memorialize and to remember this fine young radical educator who meant the world to us. I just wanted to put a pin in that. And folks should start.
And as I close, I just can't even imagine her students, because to be in an Orange classroom for one day, what she was able to bring to us was just phenomenal. So I can't even, for a semester or how many semesters a student may have had her, I am sure they are just, and as I said, she was a baby, 55 years old. She was still a baby.
Yeah, she was that for a lot of us. And let's fast forward now to Black August. And of course, now she's going to be somebody we're going to be lifting up ancestrally in Black August now.
Absolutely. Wow, they got base.
I want to introduce Sefu Sankofa. Folks also call him Brother Frank, but he does have an African name, right? He's got a hot platform called U.S. Political Prisoners and You on Black Power Media, and a sharp sister that, you know, we call her young and a baby. They're younger than me, right? But she's probably in that same age range as Johanna, who's coming to us from New Orleans. Sister Tuere Burns. And wherever this sister's gone, she's led an organizing trail, you know, whether it's New Orleans or Chicago or wherever. And I was very excited when I met this sister, and she's got some Black August things going on in New Orleans. We're going to be joined by Amber Sherman, Amber who has been here in Memphis, and Amber is also doing a Black August series of teach-ins. And Amber is also up against the Voting Rights Act fallout that's attacking Memphis. And it's got a lawsuit that's a part of it.
Excuse me 1 second. For Sister Tuere, can you shift your I just want you to shift your camera. Yeah, I just wanted you to shift. Can you not hear us? Is that why you got it on your ear?
No, I'm in the car. I'm trying to get home, so that's why.
Okay, all right, because we just got a picture of your beautiful ear.
Yeah, I can hear y'all really good. I got it on mute because I'm trying to get home so I can really get all the way in.
Okay, got you. Okay.
In addition, and then we're also supposed to have Ashanti Alston jump us. And Ashanti is you know, was Black Panther Party, Black Liberation Army, and a former political prisoner himself. And he was one of my hometown comrades. We were both from Plainfield, New Jersey, the town that in '67 had an armed uprising, and the only casualty in that uprising as a consequence was on the other side. That's the environment from which we spring, fighting little town in Western Union County, New Jersey. And Shep McDaniel may get on. I sent him the link. He's moving around too. We've got a benefit tomorrow to launch Black August, and I wanted him to have a few minutes of that. So let me and as Tuere is adjusting, Sefu, tell us about Curb Fest. Curb, let me introduce it this way. You know, Curb Fest is something that has become a Black August tool, right? Tell us the Curb Fest story and tell us what's happening in New York.
Absolutely. So, you know, when I speak on Curb Fest, you know, I could only speak on my involvement with Curb Fest, and I've been involved with the last couple of years. I initially started being involved with it, working with Sekou Denga, you know, our beloved ancestor. He asked me to come and help him be involved with it. So I got involved. I was tabling.
Let me stop you there because this is a teaching platform, right? For folks who do not know who Sekou Denga was.
Yes.
He was one of our giants amongst our political prisoners and our freedom fighters. He was in New York. He was in the OAAU. He was a baby in the OAAU with Malcolm, right? And when that did not go forward after Malcolm left, those brothers that Herman and sisters that Herman Ferguson was training at a New York City gun range that Herman organized called the Jamaica Rifle and Pistol Association went on to become the New York chapter of the Black Panther Party. He went on to Black Liberation Army, and somebody said that he was the general that made sure that Assata Shakur got free. That's who Sekou Denga was, right? And not only that, but that is the brother who we have talking here. When Sekou took very seriously ill in his final days, there was a network of folks who were around him almost 24/7, making sure he was all right and that nobody was going to mess with him in them hospitals. This brother right here was one of those brothers. So Sefu ain't just got a radio platform. He's been in the trenches with us, actually trying to take care of our freedom fighters. So I just want to put a pin in Sekou and put a pin in you. Now come on back to what you were saying.
Yes. So initially, I got involved with Curb Fest because Sekou Denga had asked me to be involved. And you know, when Sekou asks you to do something, it's really no choice. You know, so we look at him as a general. So that was my marching orders. So I tabled with him. I got educated more about it, and then I started getting more involved in it. And then you know, how our lives all linked together. That grassroots organization, they started putting together the Curb Fest in terms of bringing people together to take different roles in it. You have fundraiser committees, you have outreach committees, and you have program committees, and that's how it all comes together, and then it's manifested the way it is. Last year we was in South Jamaica, Queens. I thought that was very important. Yes, I thought that was very important because of the revolutionary history. Sada Shakur being from there, Sekou Dinga being from there, Herman Ferguson being from there, even Viola Plummer being from there. So I thought that
Kamal Siddiqui.
Yes, Kamal Siddiqui. Yes. So that was very important that Curb Fest was there. Curb Fest is a community program organized so the community has a serious, strong relationship with the idea of political prisoners. I think what's ignored and what's need to be emphasized is the outreach that goes into Curb Fest, because you have a number of days that you're out there talking to the community, giving them palm cards like this. And in the back of the palm card, you have the definition of political prisoner. So whether they come through or not, they still got this information. And then on top of that, we're putting up the flyers on lampposts, at stores, throughout the community. So the community is going to be made aware of the idea of political prisoners. This year, we'll be having a number of these books. This book is over 900 years in captivity, and it's a book on political prisoners, and it's put together by the National Alumni Association of Black Panther Party. At Curb Fest, we have music and performances, speakers, letter writing, poster making, arts and crafts, and free food. This year is going to be at Ujama. That's at 406 Utica. That's right between Montgomery and Empire Boulevard, and it's going to be from 1 to 5. And this is a Black-owned business, and we had it there 2 years ago, and now we're going to have it there this year.
Now, what do we mean by Curb Fest? Make that plain for folks who haven't been to.
Yes, who named it Curb Fest? To tell you the truth, I'm not actually sure who named it Curb Fest. You know, that's one thing that once I just heard the concept, I just got involved. You know, I didn't dig deep into the background of the origin of the name. I just heard the part of for political prisoners. Yes. Once I knew it was for political prisoners, once I knew it was going to be in the community, I said, this is powerful. This is important because it's right there. And we live in a social media era where people are going to take pictures, people are going to share it, people are going to like it, and people are going to be informed, and people are going to understand that it's right there in their community.
So let me help you with the answer.
Wait, let me guess. Is it like pull up on us and learn something?
Something like that. But actually, this was actually a hood DJing concept in Philly that got hijacked by a Panther Cub named Russell Schultz Jr., right, to be used with political intent and political education intent. So it actually started in Philly, right? And then, you know, some of us looked at what Russell did in Philly and started moving it around to other cities, Philly, New York, and then I think Boston wound up doing it. It's down to now it's like about 12 cities, if I'm not mistaken. It's moving around. Tuere, who's going to try and get back in. I think we've got several people in the background. I don't know who's got the controls. We need to let them in so we can round this conversation out. It's doing it in New Orleans. You know, there was a Curb Fest in Durham, North Carolina that Shep was supposed to go to. It's become a real thing around the country, a very grassroots way, in a very grassroots space, in a very grassroots friendly way, right? With music, food, and local culture, you know, to educate people about the plight of our political prisoners. What day is the one that you're doing, Sefu?
Yeah, this one is going to be Saturday, August 22nd, from 1 to 5.
Yeah, in the context of Black August.
Yeah.
Context of appreciating and observing and honoring and celebrating the maximum resistance to oppression.
One of the things
August 14th is the ceremonial launch of the Haitian Revolution. Wow. August 22nd is the actual launching of hostilities.
Wow.
August 22nd is Black August, baby.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
You got to give you that, right? You got to put that in the sauce when we putting it on them folks in that hood. You know.
Absolutely. One of the things that I love about this is that we'll have an area where we're doing letter writing. So you might have a family writing to political prisoners. So that stood out for me before when we had it at Ujama, and that stood out for me before when we had it at South Jamaica and at the community center. And just the way we transformed that community center, we made it look like a liberation center.
Yeah. Yes. And it happens just like that. It happens just like that. And we got that happening in hoods all over the country. And for the most part, the other thing too, we want to put a pin in is that we're seeing younger people, I'm talking about his age and down, right? Younger people embracing the concept and picking it up and bringing it to their cities, right? I know some young people have been asking me how to bring it to Newark. I said, y'all need to figure that out, because this is your generation stuff. This is your generation speak. This is a hip hop phenomena that is conscious raising with conscious raising intent, right? This is a hip hop talk show. So for the hip hoppers in the audience, I want them to see the link, or what's that new word they use? Intersectionality, between the politics and art of just how that comes together, right? So yeah. So that's a lot to look forward to. Are you having any special guests on August 22nd?
All that the people who are involved in the program, they dealing with that. I know that one of my artists that I love, I guess I'm biased because we work together, is Jasiri. Jasiri, he has performed before, and I think he's going to perform this year. He's one of the members of Holla.
Oh, yes.
He's a hip hop artist. Yes. And one thing I love about him, when he performs, he looks you eye to eye. Makes that intense eye contact. So you're going to make sure that you're paying attention to what he's saying, and you're going to be engaged at some level. Then he'll go through everybody and do the same thing. And I picked that up from him when I'm talking to people, to make sure I make that eye contact, because I think when you talk like that and you perform like that, then you leave people with an impression of the message that you are conveying with them, which is that we have to be responsible for our political prisoners. We are being recognized, being respected, and expressing gratitude by actually having time in our community to address them, as we have this awareness strategy and campaign.
Mm-hmm. Donna, do me a favor. See if you get that. There's Ashanti coming in. There are two other people in the background. See if Ed can.
Yeah, I told Ed, Brother Frank. Have you ever heard of Poor Righteous Teachers?
Yes, like from Newark. Yes.
Actually from Trenton. Yeah, Wise Intelligent. Yeah, from the Trenton area. Yeah, I'll never forget. To your point, they have a music festival here in Newark called Lincoln Park Music Fest, and he did like a freestyle, probably like 6 to 8 minutes. And at the end of it, he was like, I'll never forget his last remarks was, boom, boom, boom. Now go home and hug a thug. And he dropped the mic. I'll never forget. But he was like, he had the whole audience because he rapped freestyle a cappella, and it was amazing.
Yeah, he's an incredible artist.
Yes.
And let me also just lift up the fact, because you lifted up Jasiri and Holla. They are doing House for Liberation on August 9th. And that's their using house music to bring folks together. Now, I wanted to check them on the fly because they put 274 Lenox Avenue. And of course, it ain't Lenox Avenue for us no more. It's Malcolm X Boulevard. All right.
Yes.
But August 9th is going to be when they do their Hood House for Liberation Black August tribute to our freedom fighters. Now, we were just joined Tuere is back. Good to have you back, my queen. Right? Can you hear us better? I see you're situated. You're on the home front now, and somebody who means the world to me, but my hometown comrade, Great Ashanti Alston has come. Right? The veteran is in the house.
Yeah, salute.
We should be getting another youngin in a minute, Amber Sherman, who's down in Memphis, doing all kind of hell raising down there.
I'm sorry, I'm scared to see how that car is parked outside. was just to the.
I pulled in and almost forgot to put the car in park.
Look, we don't need no new political prisoner. Don't mess up that detention list. Unless it's gonna have something gonna happen on the other side.
Thank God for these new features. Like they like, please put your car in park.
Oh no, I got an old blessing. I got an old blessing. That thing, look, I gotta be on my P's and Q's with him. I was having my neighbor next door, he cutting the grass, and he always want to talk. So I had to fly. I said, Lord, let me hurry before he see me. Let me get this.
Thank God for neighbors. That's right.
So Tuere is coming in from New Orleans.
All right, I love New Orleans.
Cultural capital, right?
Yeah.
I just mentioned Harlem, a long-standing block. Shanti, where you coming in from now? You still in Rhode Island?
Providence, Rhode Island. That's
Oh my gosh, Zane, you killing me. You got my stop before Martha's Vineyard. You got my Essence Fest people. Oh my gosh.
What I usually get is like, is there black people in Rhode Island?
Right. I just found out like 10 years ago.
You
know? And they feel Negroes out there too. They scrapping.
That's right.
Yeah, my niece used to go to college in Rhode Island.
Okay.
Yeah, I love to see Rhode Island. Before you make that right to the vineyard. It's like,
right.
Yeah. And you start seeing buildings and stuff again. You could say, Rhode Island's a city.
Ashanti, I want you to give us a little grounding. One, just as a veteran in the house, but also we just lost a comrade in Johanna Fernandez, right? And I want you just to share an observation about that, who that sister was and what she meant to your comrade Mumia Abu Jamal.
Oh man, she was one of them lawyers, one of them persons that used her skills in that area to jump in his case, at a time where like he really needed it, and her dedication was so everything, was so all of her, to work for that comrade's liberation, So when you sent me that text this morning, I'm like, oh man, that was, it kind of hits you, but it's life, and that work goes on, so people will pick it up. But we have lost somebody that did a tremendous amount of work to keep Mumia's work for his liberation alive. So she is one of our ancestors now. So
high stages too, and one of the things, to bring it back to Rhode Island, and because Brown is in Providence, right? She's an alum. Right. When Mumia was taken out of death row and was getting ready to put in population, he was like, he was ready to chuck all of his stuff. He's ready to throw his stuff away and just get popular, just to get off solid. Death row is solitary confinement. For folks not clear, you are locked up in a small cell 23 hours a day on death row, right? And he had been on death row for almost 30 years, right? And she said, no. You're not going to throw that stuff away. We need it. We're going to keep it.
Yes.
She was able to, by virtue of who she was as an alum of Brown University, work it out so where all those papers were brought there, not just as a repository, but they literally had a space where they recreated what Mumia's cell might have looked like and put a lot of that stuff on display in that makeshift cell. It was incredible. And put on a weekend conference that brought everybody around to come and support it. We had Julia Wright piped in all the way from Paris. Todd Burrows, who was chiming in on the chat, was one of the presenters, because Todd has got a book out called Mumia's Biography in 25 Voices, right? And all of that. There's so much that she gave to that, but right there from where Ashanti is where is one of the places where she made an impact. So I just wanted to put a pin in that. Now, Ashanti, I want you to tell everybody the short version of your story and why at this point now you've been home now for some time, and why you still on the case grinding hard for the release of your comrades?
Well, Plainfield, New Jersey. That's where I was born and raised, and it's whenever I do a speaking thing, I always say, I'm from the land of Parliament Funkadelic.
The P-Funk.
And
we got a Parliament Funkadelic way now.
Yeah, I know, right? And also, like what was the turning point in my life was this 1967 rebellions.
Yes, sir.
And how that jumped off in Plainfield. And Imam Jamil Alameen, formerly known as H. Brown, in his book,
Mm-hmm.
he mentions Plainfield. Plainfield, small, man, small. But that black community, man, them brothers and sisters,
full of field slaves.
Yes, got to that gun
manufacturing. That's right. We had We had a rifle factory on the West End.
They brought
field
back
slaves whose names will never know, cleaned it out.
Yes.
Go ahead, keep talking.
Yes.
I get amped up.
For me, I know, right? So it's like at that I'm 13, 14, when I see, how they took over the black community. They ran the police out, they ran the state troopers, they couldn't come in, and it wasn't until the National Guard came in with the tanks and the soldiers that they was able at some point to recapture the black community. But I saw my people fight back. And I said that was my decision at 13, 14, I don't know, somewhere around there. I want to be like that in this black revolution.
Yes.
That's what I want to be.
Yes, sir.
So just a few years later, staying involved, 13, 14 years old, going to the community center on South 2nd Street, with Zaid and them they were boxing.
I fought out of that building. That's right.
That when we found out about the Black Panther Party, me and one of my closest comrades, Jihad Abdul Mamit,
yes,
we joined the Black Panther Party. We was like 16 years old. And that was that point there. We have never turned back. So we that same, we gonna make this. This is our role in this struggle. And we elders now. So we, that's our role now, and we trying to do it the best we can. So like being on here today, seeing Frank and Zaid is like family, him and my nephews still carrying this on. We gonna do this. We gonna figure it. We gonna do this. You got the right people here, because we gonna do what we gotta do to make sure that liberation vibe stays with us. And we'll figure out how to do it to the point where we win our liberation and bring this monster down.
Yes, sir.
That's my short.
Yes, sir. Now I want you to lift up, if you can, one of your comrades who we call him the Panther 3, but he was in New York with y'all, Kamal Siddiqui. And it's still, Kamal's name, for all the attention that mushroomed around Assata with the transition, we are still working hard just to get folks, and then we see Sefu, right? That's that graphic when we did that benefit for Kamal in February. But we're still trying to, I said, don't give me a solid pledge without talking about what you're gonna do to help us get Kamal free. They're like, who? So we got work to do. But tell us what you can about Kamal Siddiqui.
And it's not just Kamal, but we'll raise Assata up and everything right on. That's what we're supposed to do. But you can't forget Kamal Siddiqui. You can't forget Sundiata Okoli.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's that struggle to not
49 years.
Yes. And so Kamal was another teenager, him and others, we all teenagers, but Kamal in Queens and stuff, part of the Black Panther Party, moves into the Black Liberation Army. And then even after a certain time, there's bank expropriations happening. The BLA is setting up training camps at different places, but he gets captured. He does a certain amount of time, he gets out. He's back in New York, this time Brooklyn, and it just so happened that when the police kind of found out who he was from some other incidents, they figure out a way to reconfine him on some case that happened in Atlanta or the Georgia area back then, and
Cold case from 1970.
Yes, and found a former comrade who had turned snitch. It was one of the key people that they put pressure on to say, we want Kamal. And the key point about it was that they was also trying to get Kamal to help
flip on Asada.
That's
right.
And of course, Kamal, he's a solid comrade. He's like, yo, do what you gonna do. And they found a way to frame him and reconvict him and put him back in prison. That's where he's been in Georgia now for like at least the 20 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Railroaded before the same judge that railroaded Imam Jamil Abdullah Amin in the prison.
Yes.
Let me bring this.
We were just in Atlanta for the mobilization against genocides.
Yes, sir.
In the park that is right across from Imam Jamil's masjid, and so it was really historic, really important to do that there, because that community even there came out for this mobilization when they saw that we were doing this mobilization against genocides.
And we need support, critical support for him. Kamal now being a Georgia state prisoner, we need support for him on the ground in Georgia, putting pressure on those forces in Georgia when things like parole and whatnot, those kind of considerations come up to help get him out of here. So that's really, really important. And hopefully it's a turning point for support for him. Let me turn to this wonderful queen from Nolens, right? Tuere, come on in, my queen. What's happening? All power. What's going on, queen?
All power.
I want you to jump in this 10 toes down and tell us what you got blazing for Black August.
And I'm emailing Baba Zulu at the same time because Mama Julia sent me an email and was asking me something, so I had to email him too and ask him some of the questions and let him know what's going on with Baba King. So
now, in your remarks to where I want you to do this, not just tell us what you're doing and what you need to tell us about you to make sure you know how you make things happen, but we want you to lift up Kenny Zulu Whitmore.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
More than 50 years in prison, but the least known of the Panther Three. We got to fix that.
Yep. Right? And the trip part is that he was actually a part of the Panthers and the Angola 3. He was Angola 3 before King. King came after him. So he was already there. Yes. And so he was actually educated by a few people. Baba Albert. So first, back before even Baba Albert, Baba Rhino, who does not like to consider himself a political prisoner because he felt like he spent time in general population. But he was a Panther. He was literally arrested because he was a Panther. And so he did over 40 years. And he's married to Mama Betty, who was the only person shot in the shootout in Desire. So that's his wife. And so, but he's one of Baba Rhino is one of the founding. He's a Muslim name now, so sorry for disrespect. His name is Baba Farouk, and Baba Farouk is one of the founding members of this chapter. So he's been in it, and so he's married now to Mama Betty, but he did over 40 years in Angola as a political prisoner, but he refuses to acknowledge himself as, and I told him, we stopping that mess. You were a political prisoner because of your work as a Panther.
Absolutely.
It's literally why he was incarcerated.
Now I want you to take us back now, because when we think of the Panthers, right, and this is something that we struggle with, right, is that there's always the Oakland Center.
Yeah.
Right. The Panthers all over the country,
Yes.
Me and Ashanti up out of Jersey, right? He wound up in New York, right, doing incredible stuff, right? The New Orleans, right? When you mentioned the battle for Desire, that was an epic moment for the New Orleans chapter. So I want you to take a minute and go back and tell us about that moment in the New Orleans chapter.
Yeah. So before they became the Black Panther Party, they were the National Committee to Combat Fascism. And that was, of course, most of the chapters. And so that was Baba Faru, Baba T, and one more person I can't remember. And then Baba Malik joined, came in and joined after he left out of the military. But this was already up and running in what used to be the St. Thomas Housing Project. And so they moved around a bit. And so I'm fast forwarding to skip around when it became the Panthers and they were in Desire. So, and that was the second shootout. They had 2 shootouts. And so this was the second one. And so Mama Betty was shot in the chest. Yes, shot in the chest. Got 5 buckshots. Yes, she was the only one shot. She survived. She's still with us today. Still going strong. Still no nonsense. Same Mama Betty. And so she was an amazing sister. But the work, they all got arrested, of course. They always released at that time. Chuck was here. Chuck was from the New York chapter. Chuck came from Corona. And I didn't even know this. Mama Yasmin just told me this a couple of weeks ago. They literally grew up.
And she's coming down there for you too, right?
She's zooming in. She's zooming in.
Okay.
Yeah, her and Mama DeQuee are zooming in. Yeah. And so her Mama DeQuee and Mama Julia are zooming in, and Mama Rosemarie is doing a pre-recorded video for me. Yeah. So so he was here as well. So and Baba Chuck was in the shootout too. Mama Althea, who was the glue to this party, most people know Mama Althea. I don't know no chapter. I don't know Mama Althea. Mama Althea continued this work up until her death, and so most people know Mama Althea. And so she was the glue to this party. So she was in the shootout as well. Mama Marion, who is now in Oakland again, but from New Orleans, she was actually having a baby. It was why she wasn't there. She would have been there too. And so you had all of these sisters, you had children that were in that space and everything when these clowns decided they was going to shoot up the building and disguise themselves as priests and the whole thing just to get in. And they did that because the people stood tall with the Panthers. When they was trying to come in before, they was like, y'all gotta come through us first. And so when people today, when we talk about this work and you see the big difference on the way the Panthers were the people, number one, they were very clear they were the people and they maintained that about themselves. And so it was easy for the people to then come together with them and allow themselves to trust them because the Panthers always knew I'm still a people. I'm doing this, but I'm still you. And so that was why the people the night before, elders came and put cloth on the wall and prayed for them. And they told them, as long as we pray, y'all be protected and pray for them. And so you have all of these cases where the people standing tall because the Panthers stood tall for them. And so when you do that, it's reciprocated. You're going to have a few knuckleheads, right, who going to feel like they proximity to whiteness thing, that they're going to get them something. But the people always going to come through. And so the people did. And so when we fast forward to the Angola 3 coalition, again, Baba Malik was in jail with them at the local jail. So got to know them and everything. And he was the one telling people, hey, they got these brothers and they own it. Baba Herman and Baba Elba was already kind of doing political education. So they weren't politicized on the outside, but they already started reading just at the parish jail. And so, and then Baba Ryan was there too. And so when Baba Ryan had already been convicted and was in the federal prison, and because they having this tug of war between where we gonna put this nigga at, type of situation, he ended up being in Angola. And what they realize, what they underestimate, and then end up realizing is that the people that they end up locking up. It don't stop because you locked us up, right? Like Chairman Fred said, you could jail a revolutionary, right? But you ain't gonna jail a revolution. And so Baba Faru is in there educating, right? And so you already have these two men. By the time they transfer, you got about Malik that's already talking to them in the parish. Then they go to Angola, you run into Baba Farouk. So you really getting it for real now. And so Baba Malik sent the message to California, was like, yo, we got these brothers back here and they handling business. And so they got the okay to be able to call them a chapter of the Black Panther Party. So they became the only incarcerated chapter of the party, because we understand too that we had Field Marshal George Jackson, but he was one person. This was a party. And so Baba Elba was the one who taught Zulu how to read and write. Zulu couldn't even read and write. He taught him how to do that. So, but he understood the fight, right? But then to be able to be literal was something different. And Baba Elba was able to do that for him. Baba Elba escaped, went to New York, and got even more politicized, because now he left. I'm looking for the Panthers because that's what I'm doing. So what we doing? So now he getting it on the outside. So when he gets captured and go back, he really got a taste of it for real, because he's experienced on the outside. So you ain't about to stop these brothers. And then you got Baba King, who wasn't in it yet, but he already had a fight in him. Baba King, I think, like tried to escape like 5 different times, to the point that he's had to shackle him all the way down, head to toe. And he said people not supposed to be in prison. So every time I'm trying to get out of here, right? And so they had to shackle him all the way down to keep him down. And so he ended up joining once he got to Angola as well. And so now you have 4 people. And so then they had a killing happen in the jail with a guard, and some other thing is moving around. And so they suggested that Zulu not be a part of that. And so it wasn't pushing Zulu out the Angola 4. It was for his safety. And so that's what happened with that. So in addition to all this happening, you have Baba Malik now talking to his sisters, his comrades, saying, look, we gotta do something about these brothers. And they was like, okay. And they start organizing what we begin to know is the Angola 3 coalition. And so us young people, because we will be around, especially by Malik be outside. And so he telling us, so we got, just a little information we put together, we passing it out. And my Althea was like, y'all coming with us. Y'all, we about to put y'all to work for real. And so we were doing work around whatever it was, whether we were studying around police terrorism, all kind of stuff. But they grabbed us, and to this day, Mama Marion is like another mom to me. Mama Althea was the same way. And to get a political education from not just Panthers, but from these Black women who not stop, right, was a whole different experience for me. I grew up in the work. I was a child of the movement, but to get it from them, it was like, wow. And we head first in political prisoner work, for real. There ain't no more reading it. We doing it. And those sisters are the one who built it. And so the world ended up knowing about these men and Zulu because of these women. The focus began to just be on these 3, and then to bring Zulu home too. But every time we would go to Angola, they visited Zulu too. So he wasn't never left behind. They made sure Zulu had money. They made sure Zulu was good. They made sure they visited Zulu. So he still got the same thing, but it was a strategy to deal with these 3 men. And so that's how that came about with that. And so I
got to tell you, just to round this out for you, right? And Ashanti's former queen, Southie had me same way. Had me all over the street. We had the newspaper back out, Shanti. Remember that?
I remember.
I was all over Philly, New York, Jersey, all over the street with that damn paper.
Yeah.
Right?
That put me on my mission like that, like learning from them women. I started learning about they got other people like this, right? Like you hear about it, but now we're in it, doing it. We're talking to these brothers. So now it's something different. So my solo mission, my performing artist, it became, okay, I'm about to start making sure everybody know about all these people. right? So we got to know about Sundiata Kohli. Like I don't care, every mic I got on across this world, I'm talking about these people. And then I started creating petitions, and I would carry it in my backpack. And every stage I'm on, I got petitions. I need to sign them. And when I got up to 5,000, I would make a copy and send it to the governor of each of those states. And I could tell you, I could count on one hand how many of those political prisoners I've met in my lifetime, because it wasn't about that. It wasn't about me getting to meet them or know. It was about bringing them home. I could never even go and visit Baba Elba, Baba Herman, or Baba King or Zulu, because my thing was always denied. I had a picture of one of my brothers sent to me.
I've had that issue too.
Yeah, I could never go in, but I'd be outside. He sent me a picture a few years ago. I said, "Oh my God, I'm 19 years old outside, Angola with the blowhorn, with a big sign on me saying, we got to get rid of Camp J, which was the murder camp in Angola." And so I was cool with that, right? I might not be able to go in there, but I'm outside with this. And I'm going to be out the whole 4 hours we here. I'm the only one going around the circle. Everybody, with everybody going in intervals to visit. And they just get back on the line with me. But I was okay with that. So I know what it felt like to have guards with their rifles pointed at you, because that's how they will be with me. I don't care. I'm still on that blowhorn. I'm still saying free them. We bringing them home. You know what I mean? My mama told me that a long time ago that, this work is serious as an adult, and you could be killed. And she wanted me to, she wasn't trying to scare me. She wanted me to understand the commitment.
To prepare you. That's right.
Yes. And she prepared me.
Let me fast forward you, because we're up against the clock. I want you to lift
Sorry, can I just ask Sister Tuere one question? Can I ask her? Okay. So Sister Tuere, I'm gonna take you a little bit into some New Orleans, because you while we're here today, some New Orleans history just passed yesterday, and that was correct me if I'm wrong, uprising riot that happened in 1866 that led to birthright citizenship, which was signed in New Orleans 2 years later in 1868. So if you can't talk about it, I just would like to know, with what the Supreme Court justice just did, what they attempted to do, and how did that, living right there in New Orleans, how did that feel as a New Orleans when all of that happened, like you're on hollow ground, so to speak?
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you, I don't I need to go and review, because I know about the history. I literally just got back on social media last Friday. And I've been on social media since April. And when I came back on, I said I should have stayed off. This is ridiculous. I don't even watch the news. It's so depressing. I don't want to hear it. They're not talking about people fighting. They're not talking about what we're doing. You know what I mean? And and then the first day I logged back on, I read about the Attorney General here, who had threatened the new mayor, who I don't care about her, but the mayor, the DA, and some council people. And so they wrote a letter challenging her and challenging that or whatever. The prosecutor picked it up and was indicted her. Do you know these crimes are a letter back telling them to drop it? I wanted to get on social media. I was like, what's happening?
Well, I'm gonna have to tell you, is a lot going, and the Angola law has enough history, and to hear that you're standing out in front of there. So we're gonna have Zaid bring you back so you can talk about some of these other subjects. But I just wanted to, I'm sorry, I just wanted to, that was brought to my attention that the anniversary was when you memorialize that day for what happened. So we're gonna bring you back to talk about that. I'm sorry, Zaid.
My mama just fussed me, was like, "You got to be reading everything because I need you to do this."
No, you don't. But we'll get you ready. We'll bring you back so we can have. We got time.
The largest uprising of our ancestors from slavery was in New Orleans.
Yep,
the 1811 uprising.
1811.
That was real, right?
Yes,
we can talk about that another time. But I want you to leap forward and let us know what you got coming up for Black August down in the territory.
So this is our 23rd year We're doing Black August. We call it Black August International South. And we call it that in honor of Mama Kilu Nayasha. Mama Kilu trained me in Black August.
She trained
And
a lot of folks. She trained a lot. She was a wonderful teacher.
Yeah, over 2 years. I actually met her through Mama Akua and Jerry. Mama Akua was one of our comrades, and Mama Akua called me on the phone. We were talking on the phone, and she said, "Tuere, young was still incarcerated," and she said, "What you know about Black August?" And I didn't know a lot about Black August. Of course, I knew about George Jackson. I had read the books. I knew about Jonathan, all that stuff, whatever. And so I didn't know a whole lot. Like I didn't know any like this organized that was going on outside beyond the wall. And so she said, "Okay, I want you to start doing Black August and in New Orleans." And so she said, "But you gotta learn." So she called Mama Kilo on three-way, and that was 99. And that was it. We would email and talk on the phone and everything. And so my first Black August though was in Chicago, where Fred came home, and when Fred came home in 2000, I think it was 2001, whenever it was. And so Fred came here. His first stop was here in Louisiana. Went to go visit his dad's grave site, and two of my comrades went there to go meet him, and he wanted to come to New Orleans. I set up some stuff for him. I was teaching at the school, and so he ended up staying longer and longer. Fast forward, Fred and I became a couple, and I moved to Chicago. And so that was my first Black August, and his first one since he had been home. And that one, we had called the Illinois chapter to come of the Panthers, the original Panthers, and they showed up. And so it was taking notes and learning all the things and stuff. And I fell in love with Mama Lynn, and so it was really good. And then the next year we did it again, and it was different again. And I started thinking about, okay, I like this. So you saw the panels and you saw the things happening. And so then when we separated, when I came home, I said, because I never stopped talking to Mama Kilu. So when we did the second year, it was kind of what she was doing in the Bay Area. So I said, that's what we're going to do here. And so it became workshops and panels and all of these things. And I put in a group in the chat, Baba Blood has spent some time with us in New Orleans. He stayed with us about 8 months. And so he told me, he said he was coming back. He had to go deal with something with Mumia. And so when he came back, he came right in the door the first day of Black August. I was so happy to see him. And he said, I need you to go to Atlanta. And I said, I'm already going to Atlanta for the, I got on the board for the Black African Holocaust Conference that Eric Tuere had going on. And it was his first year doing it in Atlanta. He said, yeah, not for that. I need you to go because they didn't kidnap Kamal. And I was like, who? And he said, Kamal Siddiqui, baby daddy. Right. I need you to go there. I already told him about you, and he said he wants you to come. I need you to go to Atlanta. And I was like, okay. And so I got on a train and I went to Atlanta, and I was in that courtroom every single day for 2 weeks. That's how long the trial was. Sometimes my Baba Bilal was there. Sometimes Mama Fulani was there. That's people I never had a relationship with. Or there was with my other mom and Mama and Babas. And so I up close and personal. I saw
me in New York.
Railroad, the whole thing. And so that even fueled me even more so to make sure we did Black August harder. And so the international South part for us was making sure Black August is known across the South in this way. Mama Kilo was very adamant about the workshops, about the training. Adamant said, it's not a party. That's not what we're doing. This is about educating. We have to let people know what's happening in these prisons around this country, that we have Black men and women that are locked up strictly because of the work they did on the street, strictly fighting for freedom and justice, strictly fighting for liberation. That's the business. That's the call. And so I ended up moving to Atlanta later that year, and we started Black August. We did it in Atlanta in 2004. We did, but people always say Kalonji did it. Kalonji did after us. We did it. We did it in Houston and Atlanta 2004, and still New Orleans 2005. And then we did it again for Katrina. We've been going strong. We came back after Katrina in 2006, and we have not stopped. Kalonji took the mantle and kept it pushing in Atlanta. That's my brother. And then Some of my folks in Buffalo them kept doing it, in Houston, and so we got to really see this thing happening in this way where people are being educated around it, and also seeing the evolution around Black August, right? Like the flea days and stuff like that have been coming along, from people who have been doing it like us every single day, to people honoring these certain days, the 7th, the 21st, and things of that sort. And so is to see the evolution of it and the commitment and dedication to it has been such an amazing thing. And one of the things that we have since added to was practicing that self-care as well. Making sure that we are taking breaks, making sure that we are checking in with each other, making sure that we are good, making sure our health is good, right? The Black Panther Party did not start these health clinics just for other people. They had to check in sometime as well. And so we stand on those shoulders of doing that. This 23rd year, we are honoring the Black women of the movement. Black women, we're calling it Black women who stood tall, Black women freedom fighters, political prisoners. So every year we talk about Mama Kilu, every single year. There's not a year that we have not raised her up. And the first couple of years she even called in, but this year, she's transitioned. Mama Sada, Mama Faney. We even use one of Mama Faney's quotes for the as the motto, called when she used to say, "I paid at the motherfucking door." And so we're honoring these women.
Yes.
And so we're honoring all these Black women warriors that we're lifting up this month. And so I'm happy and excited that we have these women that are here in New Orleans. Mama Mariama, who is a Panther here. Mama Marion is going to join us. Mama, can y'all hear me?
No,
we're asking Masani. Can you hear us, Masani? Can you hear us?
We got our next guest who's been having tech trouble like crazy.
Okay.
Go ahead, Zay. Go ahead. I'll take care of it.
Finish to where? Yeah, go ahead.
So we have Mama Yasmin, as I said, Mama DeQueen, Mama Julia, right? They're gonna all zoom in. Mama Pam Africa zooming in. And then the folks here, we have one of the sisters, elders now, who was a child at 6 years old, who desegregated one of the schools here. People know about Ruby Bridges, but we had three little girls 6 minutes before Ruby who did it. And we having one of those women with us as well. We're getting a letter from Mama Dodie, who was a member of CORE here and a Freedom Rider. She's sick, so she's writing a letter that I'll be reading. And so just to be able to educate people, because every year you hear people talk about Black August, but all you always hear about are our brothers. And that's beautiful and amazing. But I don't want anybody to mistake that we didn't have women warriors, right? Who did this work. So being able to talk about the ones that are present and them talking up the door and talking about their work, Mama Betty, who took the 5 shots, but also our ones who have passed on and who left us something to walk to a path to walk behind, and to who lit our torches. We don't ever say passing our torch. We say they lit our torch. And so being able to honor those women, like I named, some of those women. And so we're so honored to be able to do that and have some of those women just people sit at their feet and learn. Everybody got to, have pen and paper, because again, this is not nothing that we come here just to hear people talk. We do a call to action, and we don't call it a curve fest here, although I love that name. We call it the People's Party, and we've been doing that for 23 years. On the last day, we have the People's Party, where we have artists performing, and we have DJ and music and all the beautiful things. And because the days of doing this work is heavy, and we want to just check in with each other, be in fellowship, make sure everybody's good, and make sure that we can have a balance, right? We can have a balance where we should have one, right? We don't need our people dying at 40 years old because they ain't been checking in with their health. Right. And so we're going to have masseuse there. I'm working right now to see if we can have some folks come in to do diabetes checks and stuff like that as well. So it's going to be good. I'm super excited about this.
Right on.
And I'm trying to stop doing it. I've been trying to give it to these young folk. Frank, they ain't got your vigor. I be trying to get them, they be lying, telling me, Mama, I'm a being. Then when they come to the committee, I be looking for them.
You'll know when you find a mini you. So Zaid, can I start asking that question?
Yes, you can. We round it out. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So Shante, Tuere, and Brother Frank, this is a hip hop political show. So when you're preparing to do the work that you do every day, whether it's a Black August or whatever you're preparing, is there a hip hop artist or any musician that you listen to that keeps you inspired?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, before she answer that question, Zaid, let me just say that the last segment is not going to happen tonight. So
Okay,
you've got some more time with these folks if we want to talk about some other issues, as opposed to bringing them back. Let's sort of talk about.
Masani's in the back though, right?
Yeah, we got Masani too.
She seems to be having difficulty. Masani can't get on camera, nor can she get her sound.
Well, all right, because I suggested to her to talk and not. Well, let's see if she can hear us, and we could probably everybody can stay on. Okay. Yeah, Masani, can you hear us?
She's muted.
Masani, can you hear us? Okay, so Zaid,
I was expecting. Let me just put a pin in this, right? And continue to round this off. Amber Sherman, who was a serious organizer, and if she was on in this conversation, she would be the youngest. I don't think Amber's 30 yet, right?
Oh wow, love it.
Yeah, you would live. Yeah, y'all would really be building nice.
Love it.
Right? She is in Memphis and is on the ground doing a number of things in Memphis and is training young folks in organizing. That's one of the main things that she does. But she's in that cat fight between these crackers and them trying to break up. Memphis is the oldest Black voting district in the country. Goes back to the 1920s, right? And now with Louisiana v. Calais, they're chopping that into 3 districts, right? And all of them, almost all of them so-called Republican dominated for whatever that means, right? So she's actually got her name in a lawsuit fighting that locally.
Wow.
And
you gotta put me in contact with her. I met some folks
bad little
sister over in Mississippi.
Yeah, and is doing a series of teachings around Black August, right?
Love it. I love it.
Good.
Oh man, I might need to zoom her in.
yeah, because I mean, this conversation would have been loaded. I mean, it would have covered all the ages.
Yes.
The elder, I'm right up under there. Right behind him, and it would have been. We would have covered like almost 4 decades between us. Go ahead and answer the ritual question.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to ask the ritual question until about 10 minutes from now. Do y'all have a couple more minutes to stay on?
Yes.
Ashante, Brother Frank,
yes.
So let's just evolve this conversation into some local news. I mentioned to Sister Tuere about what the Supreme Court Justice was doing. I don't know how you guys feel about that, and if you can tell briefly how you may feel about what's going on, and do you have any suggestions about what we can do as a community to stay off what is possibly happening in DC? And then I want to ask, Tuere, you're not too far from Mississippi down there. What's going on with Dolan Wells, and do y'all have any thoughts about that? So anybody can take when you get ready, Supreme Court or whatever you may want to talk about. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead, Baba. You go, Baba.
Oh, okay, I can be brief. Here's what is most important for me. Most important, the work that even we're doing in Providence here. We're working on this, turn this place into a community center. And even before it's even done, we already got people coming in and out. We're doing monthly potlucks. But the best thing that we're doing is around bikes. With one of the young brothers fixed bikes, and here now all the kids is coming in. And I share this when I do get a chance to speak at different places, because it shows real authentic organizing. the kids is coming in, and the people are trying to show them not only how to fix bikes, but and get their own, but they want to learn how to fix so they can do it for others.
Mm-hmm.
And in that process, the brother sometimes take them across town, but before he do it, he tells them, I got to meet your parents. I got to get your parents' permission. And at first, the parents was a little reluctant because they don't know us, but they see the kids is coming. And after a while, you know, like the parents start giving permission, right? And in that, we get to know the kids better. Now we're getting to know the family.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I stress with these young folks here, and this is my elder role, right, is that you want to build them kind of relationships. That's how it starts. Get to know people. If you want to talk, you know, that how we did it in the Panther Party, it was face to face. It wasn't the, you know, the social media stuff and all that. It was face to face. And the deeper part that we're into right now is you find out that every family is a family that's been traumatized.
Yep.
Yes,
Every
sir.
family is trying to hold it together.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm like, with the young folks, you got to get ready for that part too.
Yes.
That's that part. You got to
Yeah.
understand the trauma, the intergenerational trauma,
Yes.
and all the other things. Then you are really creating conditions to build real, strong, authentic unity in the community.
Yes.
And so that's just the thing I want to share, because we can't build a liberation movement if that part ain't there and it ain't center.
Yeah.
You'll find your warriors.
Mhm.
You'll find all the different gifts coming from different places, that people that know herbal stuff, alternative
Yes.
treatments, all of that. But you got to be in it. You got to
Yeah.
be in it.
I
So
love
that's
that,
the-
Barbara. Yeah.
Well, listen, that to your point, one of the
Yes.
things that I mean, the first time I was alone with her side, I said, you know, how we gonna get it back? And she said almost the same thing. She said, we're not gonna get nothing back if we don't begin to relate to each other as human
That's
beings
right.
the way we did once.
There you go.
And Ashanti put a pin in it. Right
That's
on.
right.
Right on.
Yeah. I love
Y'all
that.
got
Yeah.
go ahead and answer a question.
Yeah. The young people here is a tug of war. It doesn't stop me from you know, still trying to have relationships with them. You know, I was educated for 25 years. I was just talking about it at my barber's house, and one of his nieces, I told him, he was like, you know, everybody like to be in they used to call me Mama J when I used my married name in school, and before that it was just I was Sister Tuere, you know, whatever. So all look, they cut their class, they come sit in my class. If they got put out, they come in my class, you know. So and even with my own kids, you know, wanted to make sure that they are connected, and I'm keeping my ear to the ground of what's going on with them too. The struggle here has been this I get more of the young people who are not from New Orleans, like in college, than the ones that are from here, which is so crazy to me. And then the ones who are from here who want to get involved, because they keep me going. They have me speaking at the different universities and stuff. So them kids, they want to come and, you know, whatever. And I'm doing everything community books for them, so they want to be there. But then they put a bug in their ear about whatever. So the thing is that they flaunting this money in front of the kids, and so they're buying them. And so my pushback of late has been with a lot of these so-called organizers. They're not really organizers. Well, I'm gonna say this: they probably are organizers, right? They're just not revolutionaries, and so they think it mean the same thing. And so I can tell them a revolutionary is a kind of organizer. We different. We clear about what we doing and what can happen, and we don't compromise or surrender. And so they're teaching our children that money is going to be the way. And so my pushback with them is, you keep telling them that they're gonna be for sale. And so anybody that come with more than what you have to offer, you're gonna lose them. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't compensate. Right, my mama told me, even that same conversation, she said, just because you're in a struggle don't mean you have to be struggling. And I didn't understand what she meant when she told me that. I was 2 children and a husband before I understood what my mama meant. And what she meant, me and her just had this conversation 2 days ago. And what she meant was, we can support each other. We should be supporting one another. If somebody's selling fruit, vegetables, clothes, support our own. She said the biggest mistake that we made is integration, and a perfect example of that was the Montgomery bus boycott. We should never have gotten back on them buses. We should have bought our own buses. Yeah. Perfect example. And so that was her point. We can have the same things. And she said that we have to learn to protect, period. Even if you feel like you're not going to go this far, protect. Like I gave the example about the people in Desire. Because of the relationship, going back to what Baba Ashanti was saying, that was created, that was built. Those people stood up for the Panthers. The police, you was ready for the Panthers to come out with guns. The people on with guns, bottles, sticks, all kind of stuff. And they telling you got to come through us first, right? To the point that they had to disguise themselves as priests with turkeys to be able to get in. You know what I'm saying? And so this is the reality that now that we're in fast forward, now they done told us money is everything. And so our children have bought into that. And so to get a young person to be committed to their own struggle, you got to pay. I'm not paying you to do that. I'm not paying you to fight to win. Not in that way. What I have to offer you is priceless. And it's going to be worth every cent. Because it's not going to ever be enough money that you could buy your freedom.
Yes, ma'am.
Ever.
Yes, ma'am.
Our ancestors learned that even in buying their freedom, they still was oppressed. So we have to figure this out another way. You know, with these other folks who are teaching our young people that we've been having a discussion since Malcolm X thing. We started a coalition that spoke to that because one of the things that was coming out about me, that people in the room talking about me, saying that, you know, so the two been in this fight, and we have not done a great job at protecting her. We have, you know, she'll speak on it, and we and hold people accountable, and then we let them attack her. We let them try to put her against the wall, and we ain't come out for her, and she still show up for us, and we don't protect her. We have to protect. And we have to do that. We can't let them just beat us down. We can't let them infiltrate. We got to stand up for one another. And this is a time right now. They showing us again. They ain't never stopped, but now it's clear as a sign that say yes. It's clear as a sign on the wall that say colored only or whites only. That's how clear it is in 2026. And that we refuse to see that, we have a bigger problem.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, my queen. You've been saying
and Brother Frank, Brother Frank, anything?
Yeah, because I said that as media, I have U.S. political prisoners and you. And I remember reaching out to Galanji when Mark Opio had attacked our captured freedom fighters, Black Liberation Army. And I felt that, you know, as media, we have to take that up. We have to address that. And so I did an episode with Black Liberation Army member, a veteran Black Liberation Army member, Tariq, and we addressed that. The whole thing is that, you know, we have to protect what's ours, and we have to take that very serious, and we have to control our own narrative. And another thing is that we have to be accessible to the people. So one thing I do is every Thursday, I'm a part of grief support group in Queensbridge. That's the biggest public housing in the United States. And so that's from 6 to 8. And so when I'm there, I'm always in some type of uniform, like this hat and this shirt that says Be Stay Cool Odinga or Be Stay Cool. And that allows people to identify with the idea of a political prisoner, a captured freedom fighter, somebody who loved the people so much that they're willing to give their time to the community so the community can be aware that there's somebody out there fighting for them. So I think that that's our responsibility. When anything is coming out that's attacking us, our right to self-determination, we have to be amongst the people, raising their consciousness and winning them on board to be a part of this struggle and this fight.
I love that.
You mentioned Comrade Tariq and Comrade Ashanti were captured together.
Yeah, right? Yes, I love them both, man. Those are brothers
he can tell that story. I can't tell that story.
That's a story. That's a story in itself.
Yes, sir.
I called Tariq my general.
Oh man.
Yeah.
From the jungles of Vietnam to the Black Panther Party and the Black Liberation Army. We don't make that stuff up.
Well, I'm gonna ask that question that I had started to ask earlier. This is a hip hop political show. When you're doing the work that you do, is there a hip hop artist or any musical artist that you listen to that keeps you inspired? Now, I think Sister Torre, you was about to answer us.
I have a couple. So of course, I always start out with Dead Prayers. Like every Black August, and when I'm posting, I'm putting Dead Prayers up. But I'm gonna tell you, Nipsey like is like when I'm wanna be get put, I'm putting on Nip all day. I'm putting on Nip, got to have me going in. And of course, always Pac, of course. I just was doing, we just did a teaching a couple of weeks ago and about political prisoners at Community Book Center. And I was I was educating people on Pac. Somebody was saying that was trying to say something negative about Pac, and I was like, "You let me back you all the way up to the wall and educate them Pac and and all and his music and how a lot of y'all even don't want to admit it, but y'all know about Blue Chris because of Pac."
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, so those are like my three go to for real.
Now wait a minute, Terrell. Let me just put a pin to something about you too, because you alluded to your performance background. Tell us about it.
I'm a spoken word artist. And I use my art as liberation tool. And so I stopped performing for a period of time after I had my daughter. But I've been performing all over. So I'm getting back out there. I never stopped writing, but I stopped performing. And I started even teaching a little bit in my classes spoken word, because I want, again, any art I feel like should be used liberation tool. So I always teach that. I have some young people right now who are impacted by incarceration doing a huge mural here to honor two of our civil rights icons. One has transitioned, the other one has cancer and Alzheimer's. We call him Big Duck. His name is Jerome Smith. Jerome was the people that check in, and not checking in that way like a tax, but making sure for clear passage, make sure they had somewhere to stay, and all that. So like Dr. King, when they wanted to come do SCLC, that was the phone call. They made to Big Duck. And Big Duck was a freedom rider. Him and my great uncle were best friends. They were friends with Imam Lamin and everything. I can remember the Imam sitting at my grandmother's kitchen table. So when I tell you I grew up in this work, in this movement work, this has been my life. And like teenagers, I strayed and started doing things I had no business, but it came back around 18, 19 years old. Yes. So just, that what you about to say? What you about to say?
No, I was going to ask you, Sister Ray, are you ever at a part of, like, in the convention center at the Essence Fest teaching? All right, I'm gonna need you to be there teaching, because you get a whole. We're gonna hold when you come back. We're gonna talk about that, because you get a whole lot of opportunity to teach.
Let me come up in there with that. Then people gonna be like, "Oh no, no indeed." The 1 year.
You know what? I mean, you live there, but I've attended for 10 years, and I have to say that there are a lot of good teaching sessions there.
Yeah, my sister did one last year. This year, my sister, Dr. Takesha Davis, she's one of only 5 Black women to run a hospital in this country. She did one this year. My sister Danielle Danielle did 23 years in prison. She did a panel right when she first came home, and so one of our brothers, Mac, who we helped to come home, Mac was on No Limit Records. His mom was our first artist in residency, and I made her be our director of residency. They had her on a panel some years ago, and so but what we realized was they kept recycling the same people. So in 2019, I did a middle finger. That's what I called the middle finger piece of Essence, and I did this thing for Black women and to honor Black women I knew in New Orleans who have been putting in work. Because y'all want to keep recycling them, I'm gonna show you who the women who I know. Y'all know that. And I'm gonna show you who been doing this. And I did a dinner for them. All of them got a gift. Then I invited the community to come in and honor them women. And so it was
because a lot of people do side stuff too. So you have to do that. Yeah. So, Brother Frank,
I'm glad to talk about the political prisoners.
all right, I see. Brother Frank, who are you listening to?
Yes, it's
I
been a
think you
minute
told
since
us
I
that
really.
earlier. Go ahead.
It's been a minute since I really listened to some hip hop in preparation of certain work. But one thing that I do is I listen to "In a Sentimental Mood" by John Coltrane and Duke Ellington, and also when I really need to get motivated, I listen to Pharoah Sanders. The creator has a master plan. I know my field marshal Coltrane Shimarenga told me that was a revolutionary anthem. So that
Absolutely.
made that
Absolutely.
gave it more value to me.
All right, Zane, that was right up your alley.
Sefu, listen to this. Malcolm X Commemoration Committee in September, we having our first iteration of our Malcolm X Human Rights Film Festival. This year is Train Centennial. So it's September 11th and 12th, and we're going to show the films at the Mason Center in Harlem. But we're going to open up that night with a tribute to LeBert Bethune, who did this film called Malcolm X and the Struggle for Freedom that we used to use for PE for years. And we go and the film that's out on Coltrane called Chasing the Train. We're going to spotlight that. Yeah. So I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see if I can be there, because I remember you said that in our meeting. I'm gonna see if I can try to be there for that Baba Zaid. I'm gonna try.
Wow,
yeah,
we'd be honored to have you.
Yeah.
Well, and Barbara Ashanti.
Yeah. Like my comrade Frank, like I'm a jazz person too, but also like I'm still a gospel person, everything. But when we have events, a lot of times the young folks, want to know what I want to hear. And I'm gonna tell you the truth, I want them to hear Parliament Funkadelic.
Right.
I want them to hear it, right? I want them to get a sense of what that music was back then. And I'll tell them like why it was different from me listening to Earth, Wind and Fire, Parliament Funkadelic was really kicking it. They was really putting out some radical shit from the words to the performance itself. So I might put on something by there, but I'll also put on Curtis Mayfield, and then I want them to really know Gil Scott Heron. So, but other than that, I mean, if I was to talk about the hip hop, I like the Coup, I like Public Enemy, and of course Dead Prez and others. But I like a variety. But I want them to get to see the impact that music had on us back then.
So Ashanti, Barbara Ashanti, you got to do one of those. Oh, if you love this, then you'll like this, because this was sampled from this. Was Curtis Mayfield ever sampled? I'm sure, but
Kanye West.
Kanye West sampled it. Yeah. I just looked up.
That's
Look,
Chicago.
I'm putting up my power. I have a Black Power playlist.
Okay. And you got to publish it like President Obama did. Damon Marley made his. But what was I thinking? I mean, Ashanti, Brother Ashanti, Barbara Ashanti, and Sister Tuere, y'all both have, because I know Barbara Ashanti, up by you, there's a jazz fest that happens, and of course, Tuere, you have the jazz fest every late May and everything, but the Newport Jazz Fest is what I'm thinking of.
I always wanted to go to Newport, never been up there.
I've been here 16 years now. I still ain't made it.
You can walk there now. Yeah, you got to get to those jazz fests.
Yeah, our jazz fest has been it was started by Black people.
Of course.
Mama Dodie, who I told you before, was from Core Freedom Riders. She's one of our people, my great uncle. And you let the folks come in, they took it over, they don't even acknowledge them. It costs $1 gazillion to get in. I've never paid to go. When I was little, we would go, and then I always knew somebody. But it has completely hijacked, and but Congo Square still tries to hold strong and committed to us.
Mm-hmm.
For my best friend used to actually run Congo Square, so what she
Mm-hmm.
was able to do was really resurrected, making sure everything was really black. And Baba Lau had a booth there for years, and this when he transitioned, we tried to get them to do a ceremony and have his space. Nobody to be in his space. They let us do the ceremony, but then it was like we can't keep the space like blocked for him. So that made me mad because he's been with Jazz Fest forever since I was a
Right.
little, him and his brother Lewis. And so um but um the Congo Square tries to stay committed to our roots. So I will give them that. They do, they do try to do that. Stevie Wonder, Lauren Hill,
Mm-hmm.
Erica, just to name a few folks. Of course, Frankie Beverly and Mays. Even when Frankie couldn't sing no more, everybody else singing for him in New Orleans. And so, still, just trying to hold fast to that.
Well, that's that Treme section, right? But my brother and them always, they used to come to the Jazz Fest and they used to tell me a story of a woman's house in the Ninth Ward that they used to go to all the time. That
Okay.
used to be, yeah, it used to be a constant. Like when they came down for the Jazz Fest, they used to go to somebody's house in the Ninth Ward, and it was like the after event to go to and
Yeah.
everything. So yeah,
That's a
so
good
yeah,
word to
New
be. That's a
Orleans.
good word to be, and that's where I'm from.
Yeah, listen, New Orleans is that city is, oh my gosh, that's it. I'm born and raised here in Jersey, but I was in the Air Force and I was stationed. I went to tech school in Biloxi,
Okay.
so I was down there and I was stationed in Fort Walton Beach, Pensacola, the Gulf Coast
Yeah, yeah.
place. So just, oh my gosh, that city, that
Yeah.
city, that
And the city
city.
is
Oh,
really
it's just,
ours. We have to fight. I
yeah.
just wrote a poem the other day about Congo Square. The
Mhm.
original Congo Square in terms of where our enslaved people and free men used to
Mhm.
congregate on Sundays. And so I stopped going a few years back because they let all the white folks come and drum and dance. I'm like, y'all got to be joking. And so it made me write the poem. I had Baba
Gentrification, yeah.
with me for Baba Rhymes, who was almost 2 weeks. And I mean, we had an amazing, beautiful time while he was here. And so Baba Malik called and was like, bring Baba Rhymes to Congo Square. So my sister Ayana had him that Saturday, and I was gonna meet them Sunday. And she called me, and I was like, no. And so she was like, that's what I was thinking. I wanted to check in with you. I was like, well, no, we don't do Congo Square. They done took it over. No, I mean some things got to be for us. So I wrote a
Mhm.
poem about that, and it's for us. It's really calling us to the carpet. Like this is sacred land. You know what I'm saying? Like we had to fight the city from trying to take it over to build City Hall here, and our ancestors went to work, and which is why the plan failed. Now you just let no, like this is for a reason. This is what we planned. We ain't just coming here dancing and partying. We playing here. We was fighting. It looked like dancing. We was practicing. We was playing the skits and all that. Like it ain't for everybody. This is sacred ground, And so trying to hold
So
on.
where it's located on in that Treme section, is that the original location? That is the okay. Where
That's
it
it.
is you
Right.
going, yeah.
Just planted when she first moved to New Orleans, she planted a peace pole there. Mama Fanny created these peace poles to put around the country, around the world, where there was a lot of violence happening with our people and stuff. And so but she wanted to put it in, she decided here to put in Congo Square instead because of what Congo Square represented. So that was beautiful that she put it there, because normally it probably would have been in another part of New Orleans where there was high crime and violence. But for her to put it there in that sacred land, that sacred ground, and she was crying, so I knew the ancestors was talking to her. For her to put it in that space it made it even more powerful at the same time, because her mom being an ancestor, it's something that she started and Mama Fanny started, and I'm gonna put it here with these other ancestors to remind of the work that was done and the work that we have to continue to do. And so that was beautiful for her to do that.
So we're at the hour and we thank you for being here. So before we leave, could each of you tell us again what people need to know that you're doing, what's coming up, the events, the different things that you're holding so that people will have that as their last word from you.
Anybody? All right.
Okay. You want to go to Baba Shante?
Well, real quick, just I'm a part of the National Jericho movement for the freedom of political prisoners. So, Black August is always all kind of events that we do or we support, all over the country. So that's what I would encourage people, like, one use of that social media, to see where if there's anything going on in your area and support them. But we need so much more work in this, or organizations put political prisoners on the top of your agenda.
All right, Sister Tuere.
Again, we are August 7th through the 9th in New Orleans at Dillon University on Friday and Saturday. We are lifting up Black women, political prisoners, and freedom fighters. The only man speaking that weekend is Baba Shep. And so he excited.
I was trying to get him to come on. He didn't get on. I was trying to get him to come on.
He's super busy, him. But he's coming
probably
here.
busy now than when he was in the ranks.
Yeah, we already got the menu because I got the show off for him. Because I promised him all this New Orleans food. So we feed everybody. And so we got Friday night dinner all day Saturday, starting at 10 o'clock with brunch, and then all of the things all the way to 8 o'clock, and then Sunday the People's Party from 3 to 6 here. I don't think I'm performing. I got one of my is I'm handling that. But people like one of my young people, Alia Earhart, you can look him up on Instagram. My cousin Sonny Patterson, who's an international spoken word artist.
We had her up here for one of our freedom fighter dinners some years ago.
Yeah, that's my little cousin. My sister Ayana Molina, who's a hip hop artist and spoken word artist, who's also a therapist and has been a part of the Black August National South Committee for 23 years. And my brother True Universal, who has been with us for 23 years as well. And two more of the young people are performers, like this Ayana Space. But August 7th through the 9th, if folks can come on our Instagram, it is, hold on, let me get it so I don't mess it up. It is strategize.organize.liberate, and you can get all the information off of there about what we're doing for Black August. And I got some of the other dates too, with y'all are doing too. Zaid and New York and in Philly. We create a calendar, and I'm going to post that tomorrow. So I have some of those dates on there too. So Frank, I think I have your date, Brother Frank, too, on there. But just email me just in case I can plug it on there. I've been working on this calendar so we can have all the dates locked in.
Yes, ma'am.
So people know, and we can start supporting each other on a bigger scale nationwide. And also on that calendar are days of birthdays, ancestor days, revolutionary days. All these things are on these dates in August.
We got a Nat Turner Park in Newark, August 21st, which will later become the day for George Jackson, right? I was born on Boy K. Mine, the beginning of the Haitian Revolution, right?
We got that on there too.
We got some Black August.
We got that on there.
Black August.
Oh, Zaid, I'm about to see you this calendar. You tell me what I'm missing before I push out tomorrow.
Sound like a people's organization for progress calendar. Brother Frank, what you got going on that we need to remind people?
Yes. So I'm gonna have a table at Black Veg Fest. That's gonna be August 8th, which is also Mutulu Shakur's birthday. That's gonna be at Lincoln Parish Park in Brooklyn. It's gonna be from 12 to 7 p.m. If you need any more information or the flyer, you can contact me at 347-679-3936. Again, that's 347-679-3936. And August 22nd, I'm going to be a part of a coalition that put together Curb Fest for political prisoners. That's going to be at 406 Utica. That's right between Montgomery and Empire Boulevard. The times is going to be from 1 to 5. We're looking for somebody to donate $350 to help us out with the food. If you feeling generous, please contact me at 347-679-3936. I can give you the appropriate information so you can make that donation. That's going to be August 22nd. Peace and love, y'all.
All right, thank you, and thank all of you. And Baba Ashante, on our way up to Martha's Vineyard, once y'all get that community center, that's gonna be the rest stop. So let us know. Come back.
Right on, right on.
And what and Sister Tuere, since you're saying that when Masani, who's the owner of the Black bookstore here in Broad Street in Newark, a source of knowledge, she was coming on to tell the community that on August 15th, they will be doing a read and feed. And she's calling all local artists to come out and be a part of the read and feed. And usually they have like community leaders come out and read to the students. They read to the young people. They feed them breakfast. They have music live, artists out. They might have some booths. So she's going to get back on next Friday, which is the day before, and talk more about it. But Zaid, if you can get that to Sister Tuere to put on that calendar, but it's August 15th, calling all artists, get in touch with a source of knowledge about the Read and Feed program.
Yeah, I'm putting my email in the chat. Send me everything. I'm gonna put it on there.
Okay. I will give that to her. All right. So we thank you for being here, and and everybody can actually come back in their own right and talk about different things. So don't wait for us to call you. If there's something that you need us to know about, please reach out to us.
This was so amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Long live the revolutionary spirit of Joanna Fernandez.
Yes.
Yeah, long live.
It's just a good comment.
Oh, I want real quick too, y'all. I want us to just send some really positive and strong energy to Sechuwa Shakur and the Shakur family too. Pac's trial, the trial is starting August 10th, and so and Set will be there for that. So send them some winning energy. For this is the with the case of Pac being murdered, essentially.
Oh, all right.
And all that's coming out. So she can. So usually she participates with us for Black August, but she's gonna be heading to California, so she won't be able to participate this year with us. It starts on the 10th, so she's leaving on her dad's birthday actually. She's gonna be leaving out, but yeah, she usually does workshops and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got lifted up. Thank you.
Lift my sister up, man. Yeah, she trying to hold it down.
All right. Thank you. All right. Well, you guys have a blessed weekend, and we will look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yep. Free them all.
Free them all.
Power to the people, yo.
Power to the people.
Good set. Black August has come. Black August has come. So let me wind down everybody that we had tonight. We want to thank Alia Berry and our conversation we had with her and the ground she's breaking in the theater arts as a part of her healing work. I want to thank the incredible conversation we had with Gabriela Soto. We got her to talk about things that she hasn't had a chance to talk about, right? In terms of what her family has been put through with that. It was a lot. That was a lot to process, right? We apologize that we couldn't get Masani on, but Donna just laid out all of the information for what she was going to bring us about August 15th at Social Knowledge's bookstore is doing in terms of their summer activities. They try and call it the Black Community Center bookstore. There's a vibration that they try and create for that.
It is the Black Center Community Bookstore.
In fact, it's only we ain't got two in the whole state. But and then our comments that you just heard in that National Black August conversation, Ashanti Alston, a veteran of the Black Panther Party and the Black Liberation Army, former political prisoner, Tuere Burns. I just met Tuere just a little while ago, but she's a pistol of an organizer. I'm glad she's working for us and not against us, right? and Brother Frank, Brother Sefu Sankofa. We missed Amber. I don't know what happened to Amber. We're really looking for having Amber in that conversation. And Amber did say that she was at a conference at the same time, and perhaps she got tied up. But Amber's always got her foot on some real work.
Isn't NAACP going on now? I think that conference.
That was in Chicago weeks ago.
I want, before you give the last word to about Sister Joanna again, I want to just remind people that the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, it passed in New Jersey. They had a ceremony today to highlight its passage, and Assemblywoman Verlena Jackson.
Several days ago at her church.
Right. And they were talking about it. I thought it was today.
It was several days ago.
Okay,
so it was Monday.
It was okay. So they were talking about the passage, and also, I believe yesterday, the case with the federal government trying to compel the governor to release the voter records was voted down. What's that, Ed? When you can't bring it back, non-prejudice. When the judge rules, they can't bring it back. You're muted. It was denied.
Prejudice.
With prejudice, so they can't bring it back, and they don't have to release the voter roll. So we're glad about that.
Yeah, that's important. That's important because all that stuff would have been right in our back door had Chitterelli won. Quite frankly, we need to really be clear about that.
Or just releasing people's personal information is, while people think it's light, one of the things somebody brought out is that although it was a mistake for them to get on the voter roll, some of those people were actually applying, in the process of becoming citizens. So they could have become citizens and, so things
register make mistakes.
Right, and it happened inadvertently, but you don't know people's status today. So there's, she handled it. You don't need the information, people's social security numbers and stuff.
Jalil Muntakim, who did 49 years in prison in New York State, one of our Panther prisoners, they gave him a bunch of papers to fill out and sign when he got out, and it included a voter registration form.
Wow.
By law in New York, he couldn't register, but they put it in that package. He filled everything out. And then they tried to put him back in prison for voter fraud for that.
Wow.
And listen, and in New Jersey, you can be on parole and you can be on probation. You can vote, and they won't put it in the package. How about that? All right, that's it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, y'all. So Zaid, you did you did all the niceties. Thanked everybody for being on. So, is there anything coming up that we need to let folks know about that's going to happen this weekend?
Our New York listeners, we've got a serious cultural fest for our political prisoners tomorrow at the Langston Hughes Library, 101 Northern Boulevard in Corona, Queens, at 4:00. And we do have I got some Jersey folks who are coming, and I appreciate that. For the People's Organization for Progress, they want you to know that their next stop a war against Black people and the attack on the voting rights conversation is going to be Monday at the Maplewood Library at 6:30. So all of that is coming up. There's no time to be sitting on the sidelines. And of course, we mentioned what Masani and the bookstore is doing on the 15th. That's 2 Saturdays from now. 2 Saturdays from now at the bookstore.
And also, if you would, Zaid, just mention again that rally that was talked about that was going to take place in Trenton has actually been delayed.
That's been postponed. Yes. No, August 6th. We are not going to Trenton now. That'll happen on another day.
All right. Well, there it is, y'all. And by the way, before we go, we would be remiss if we didn't say what a glorious day we had. With the street, naming today of our beloved sister. You want to talk a little bit about that, Zaid, since
it emptied me out, and I actually needed it because I got Joanna's information about an hour before that, and I was like flat. And just to, Sister Fredrica has not only done a lot, she has been put through a lot because she's done a lot. So that's an incredible full circle moment for her and her family and her comrades, for her to be lifted up like that while she is still here. And I was really glad to see that and very proud that she sees that. And I'm, and I want, folks better be careful how to handle Lamina Bay too, because I take that one real personal. I'm gonna make it plain, right? But yeah, it was a powerful statement. If we had a little more time, and it wasn't 90 degrees, we could have been there all damn day, because she had that kind of love in this community for real. Absolutely.
Right. Yep. So we definitely wanted to make sure we let you all know that. And if you would, if you guys are from Newark, make sure you get down to that Lincoln Park, entranceway, and you'll see that sign. You might want to get down there, take your picture. But obviously it was an awesome day. It was good to see. It felt like I think I told you this. I sort of felt like a community meeting of the old guard in Newark.
Yeah. This today and last Saturday for Ryan and Charity Haygood, South Ward came out for them, and it was a very warm gathering. Ryan is officially gone now for the New Jersey Institute for Social Justice. He was there today too.
Yep.
He was there, but he's getting ready to make a very intense shift to Alabama, to the Southern Poverty Law Center, who's already under fire from the Justice Department, when the Justice Department used to lean on the Southern Poverty Law Center because they were Klan watching.
Right. So obviously, I think he's got his hands full going down there. He's going to be in the midst, he's going right into the frying pan, bro.
Sure is.
So we want to wish our brother a lot of luck. I did talk to him. He and I are going to, hopefully get something else done before he leave. But it was an awesome day, and it felt good seeing everybody. And I want to big up the council, obviously, for changing the law. Right?
Yes, because you had to be dead to get that kind of honor for years prior.
Right. So we want to say congratulations. They did it twice so far. They did it for Ryan, and they did it, of course, for Mother Bay. So we're happy about that. And so there are some other people that we believe that deserve to get their roses while they're alive. And I'm going to say this publicly, because I said it to a couple of people today. I think that person happens to be Larry Ham. I think that we need to make sure that
he was in a sentimental mood too. We were riding back. He started taking me to all the little spots where he grew up at, and all.
It'd be hard, because I was the first thing I thought about is down by Abyssinian, but it might be different locations. Yeah, because he has a lot of.
What ward did he grow up in?
I think he was on South 12th Street.
Okay.
I think that's technically the Central. Yeah, he was Central.
Yeah.
He was Central. Yeah.
12th, 11th. No, that's the West Ward.
No, South 12th Street.
South 12th Street.
That's the dividing line, 12th and 11th.
Okay, I don't know. I gotta.
Yeah, my grandmother lives on South 11th. She's Westwood. Yeah.
Because I used to box.
Right. That's right. You on 9th Street, right?
Yeah. So that's right around the corner from Refile, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we gotta check that out. Because
I know they shift over the years too.
Yeah. Mine's moved. Yeah.
When he was
growing up, I'm gonna start talking about that, because I was asked, when I mentioned that, they said, okay, well, we need to come up with a location for Larry. So I think that that's something we need to start doing, and let's get him his roses while he's alive.
Well, I just said, Abyssinian was my last name, but okay.
Well, Abyssinian Baptist Church?
Yeah, where Pop was last at physically.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But where's the place that Larry does a lot of work at? You know what I mean? Where's he always at? I think down there by that statue.
Oh yes. There you go. Right at that statue. Yeah, where all the rallies is, right at the point. Yep. right where Lincoln is. Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. I don't know, but
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
yeah. So I think
There we
that
go.
we need to talk about it. Now I would, you see how quickly they did Ryan's. I would like to do Larry's probably in October.
Yeah. And it's funny because the anniversary of Pop is coming up too. So yeah.
When is the anniversary?
What's that, Zay?
I forget the month, but it's just during.
Isn't it like next month?
No, it was. I can't remember what month, but it was during the school year because I gave it. I rented the room out for them for them to start having their meeting.
Because when he did that last meeting, he announced that Pop is coming on X amount of year. He just announced it.
Yeah, because
83 was the first year. 83 was the first year.
Yeah, because when he said that Fredrica Bey was one of the original founding members, what I mean? Today. I'm like, wow.
And she had a landlord-tenant background on top of being MGT.
Yeah, a lot of years, brother. You know what I mean? So we definitely think Larry deserved to have a street in the city of Newark with his.
Or where he was at when he became where was he at when he became appointed to the school board? It started at our time. There's so much history.
Yeah. We got to come up with it quickly, and we got to try to get that in. It would be.
But Artai is in proximity to where he always rallies at too, so that's a good location.
Right. But isn't that Muhammad Ali Boulevard?
Yes, that is.
So we couldn't do that. You know what
so
I mean?
If you did the point,
Arts is MLK.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But the point what you first mentioned, coming up Springfield Avenue, it could be like with the Bank of America, that portion of it. So that would be a nice, and he would love that. MLK and Larry Ham. I think that's when are you going to the intersection of MLK and Larry Ham?
I'm saying, right?
Yes.
Right, it's no longer Springfield Avenue. It's now Larry Ham.
Yeah,
right.
Can you imagine that? Oh man, that's it. That's it. The intersection of MLK and Larry Ham. That's it, right there.
I like that.
All of that is out of Mary Baraka teaching us about self-determination.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
That's where all that comes from.
All right.
Okay. All right. Now that we put the cat out the bag on live TV, you heard it first on All Politics Are Local.
We off the air now.
No, we're still on the air.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the pressure on.
Say you heard it first.
But all right, y'all. So listen, y'all have heard it. This is All Politics Are Local. Y'all know what we're talking about. We want to make sure that now that we have a new law, we got new rules at the council. We're talking about getting Larry Ham a street name for him in the city of North. Wow,
that would be
live, he can smell his roses.
That would be
so.
Really
until next week, we want to thank y'all for tuning in for another week. We'll see y'all next week. It'll be pastrami and politics. And them talking at the bits. They seem to they got a lot they want to talk about. They approached me and Zaid today. So make sure y'all tune in.
All right.
Before we close out, there's somebody need to get from the chat. Keep going. Keep talking.
So what we'll say is that just make sure you all tune in and we'll make that happen. And is there anything happening up in South Orange that we need to know about, Donna?
No. I know this is national. One of the things when we come back, National Night Out would have occurred when all cities all over the U.S. have on Tuesday the 4th have their National Night Out. And of course, Orange is doing National Night Out. And the mayor will be, and the city council will be going through different locations where people will welcome them for neighborhood cookouts. And it'll be a show, a presence where law enforcement meets the community. So that is Tuesday, the 4th.
Okay.
That's coming up Tuesday, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's spectacular. You got something?
And all cities, so I'm sure Mayor Baraka's, I know Mayor Green, everybody does National Night Out. So everybody will be out on Tuesday in the evening.
Okay. You put in what you wanted, Zaid?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, nothing further.
Okay. All right then. Well, we thank everybody for tuning in. As my brother Zaid would say, we'll catch y'all next week. We'll catch them where, Zaid?
In the whirlwind.
Catch
You
y'all
don't
in the world.
stop.
And you don't stop.